5, 4. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the podcast for the recently deceased. I'm the boss Hosferatu, and with me tonight is Stephen Anthony from Dark Claw Studios. How we doing, Stephen?
Hoss, we're really good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited about today's episode. I have been looking forward to this movie, I don't know, since Barbarian, and now we're here, and I've already seen it twice. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we will be reviewing and discussing Zach Cregger's latest, Weapons. When
You saw
all
it twice.
I did see it twice, yes, and actually I have plans to see it a third time with a different group of people.
Who'd you
Um,
see it the second time with?
Second time, Wayne Bodie.
Don't know him.
Yeah, Wayne from the store.
Oh, I know Wayne. I didn't know his last name was.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Hey, Wayne.
yeah, yeah. He liked it too. Yep. All right. For
Well,
those of you who are just
perspectives on who liked it because I'm trying to like be contained and I want you to go through your thing and
yeah.
tell the audience about the format and what it is we do here.
All right. Here we go. Are you?
But
Are
all I
you?
can say is everybody I've spoken to loves Weapons. I'll put that out there. I'll say
Yeah.
that up front. Everybody I've spoken to
Loves Weapons.
loves this movie.
Okay. For if you're new to the cast, we're gonna give you a short, spoiler-free review with our score, and then we're gonna move on to Spoiler City and do a deep dive discussion on the film. So, without further ado, Weapons. When all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. Written and directed by Zach Cregger, starring Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, and Alden Ehrenreich. 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 And I don't know who that
Who did
is.
Alden play?
Oh, Alden was Paul. Paul.
Paul was pretty damn good.
Yeah, and if you
He's-
didn't recognize him, he played Han Solo in the Solo prequel.
Okay.
He was also the main character in, I believe, the Coen Brothers film Hail Caesar, which also had George Clooney. And that was
And
a good,
just,
that was a
I'm
good
sorry,
one.
go ahead.
That was a good one if you're a Coen fan.
I'm not a Cohen fan. So just to set up this movie, Julia Garner plays, Josh Brolin plays, Alden plays, and then there's a fourth major character, kind of like a hobo, presumably drug addict kind of guy.
Yep,
What,
that is
what was his,
Austin
what's the character's name?
Abrams. Austin Abrams plays James,
James.
who is definitely a meth head. Um,
Hilarious, by the way.
yeah, great performance, and
Great performance. All four nailed it.
I love. Well, we'll get to it when we get to it. Okay, real quick to get us started. There's not much I can say about Weapons besides must see, top of the list, best horror film of 2025. Go see it while it's still in theaters to get those numbers up. Weapons for me was a 10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10. And I may have seen your social media post that boasted the exact same thing. There's really no way I can build or create suspense. And do you want me to talk about it after, or you want the score and then the reason, or do you want the reason and then the score?
Oh, give me the reason and the score, baby. Keep me
So-
in suspense.
So, My Beautiful Human, we went to see it together, and I love the marketing for this movie, and I'm super, super stoked. And I come out of it, and I give her my score, and she says, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, really." And she's like, "You overrate everything. Like, you give 6s an 8, and you give 5s a 7. Like, really?" And I said, "Yeah, fucking really." And so I'm going to go into the details of the why during this podcast, obviously. I give Weapons a 5. A 5! A 5!
Yeah. All right. Stephen Anthony, forever the contrarian. Like, what did you love about this movie? That's exactly why I hated
That's gonna be it, dude.
it.
That's gonna be
That's
it.
gonna be
Fucking psychic right there.
all right.
That's gonna be it. Like,
Well, let's do it then. Let's do it.
ugh, it's so hard. It's so hard for me. I'm gonna breathe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna center my chi,
All right. All right.
and I'm gonna chill the fuck out while the Hosferatu from BasementMedia.Online sets us up and tells us why this knocks for him. Bring her back right out of the number one spot, and for me, should knock the rule of Jenny Penn out of the number one spot. Haas, set us up. How does this movie start out?
Okay. Uh, Before we get into like the opening scene, I guess we should say that this movie is done in chapters, and each chapter is a different character instead of like sequential or jumping all around the place like Pulp Fiction would. And what I think the brilliance of the movie is how each person's chapter is essentially the same kind of timeline, and will start when it starts and will end right around the same time. And when one of the characters' timelines gets there, the last character, that's when we all return to the present and we move forward together to the end of the story.
It was kind of genius how they did it, or how Zach. You said his name was Zach Kroger.
Zach Kreger.
Zach Kreger. Kind of genius how he did it. The chapters will move us forward a little bit, yet at the same time sometimes take us back and give us the same moment from a different person's perspective.
Yep.
The best. So that's kind of genius where they did that, and I can appreciate that in its storytelling.
Now the best part about this format, and maybe it's because of how the format works, or maybe it's the way that Kreger did it. Each person's chapter is shorter than the one before it because he has to show us less.
Like, right, because we don't need as much.
Because we don't need as much, which I think artificially creates a pacing of acceleration. Right? You've got like 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes, and it ramps you up, like internally, or like so the first two chapters we have Julia and we have Julia, who's played by, or Justine, who's played by Julia Garner, and Archer, who's played by Josh Brolin, and arguably
amazing performances.
Oh,
Julia
absolutely.
Garner. I'm not going to say like she carries this movie, but she does. But that's not a knock against Josh Brolin.
No, he was great.
Julia Garner, holy shit,
yeah,
knocks it out of the park with her performance in this movie.
So they both have the longest chapters, but they have also like the slowest chapters. You get the most exposition. You get to see the story from the two main characters' perspectives, and you get to see the most detail and information about this world from in these two chapters. And then we have Paul, and it gets a little less, and we have James, and it gets a little less. And I'll save the next two for last because they're the best chapters, where we get we get most of the action and the horror during these sequences. All right. So,
let's talk about the horror for just a second, because the way the movie sets up, which is what you're going to get in the trailer, is kind of frightening, and maybe it's more psychological that you don't know what happened, but the movie sets up, where they're accusing this teacher,
yep,
and of what's some kind of misdeed, or maybe it's the kid, we don't know, that the lone kid that survived. But I want to talk about, because you brought it up, the pacing that the format this movie uses, the 4 different chapters, and I'll talk about later why it should have been 5.
I think it was 6 chapters.
But the chapters go by 4 character names, right?
6.
And then the movie
6 character names.
6 character names. Well, we're about to find out what that's about when Haas remembers it for us, because I forgot. So the pacing that you're talking about And I know you don't want to go down a rabbit hole because for you it's a 10. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole. I'll just say, read The Running Man and the Bachman books. Way different than the movie that's going to get remade soon. The pacing is like that where it amps up. For me, I had the opposite experience. I felt like it was more like a weight or an albatross on my balls, and it was pulling me fucking down, and I wanted to punch myself in the dick.
So, just to give you a little bit of I don't know, of credence to your reaction before we get started. One of my close friends who is a horror fanatic, I did post, you know, that I loved the movie, and she simply replied to my post with the word terrible. All right, so we open with the creepy ghost-like narration of a little girl starting off the story of
Now, this
how
may not be weapons, but I'm in the theater. I don't want to talk about which one because we see our theater's in the same small town. That's an awesome spot in upstate New York. I couldn't hear her. The theater was quiet. We had a good number of people there. Everybody's being respectful. Everybody thought because of my reaction to a preview where I blurted out, really stupid, that I was going to be the dick in the theater. But of course not. I had my blinders on and I was watching. I couldn't hear her. Nate, could you hear her?
oh, absolutely. I was in
Were
theater.
you wearing your hearing impaired headphones?
I was not. Were you?
No, I got a beautiful woman on my side, so
Yeah, right.
I just want to hear her breathing.
Yeah, I had Wayne Bodie. Okay, so yeah, I could hear it just fine. I was in Theater 9. If you were in Theater 9, that seems strange, but whatever, you know.
Back, right? I'm pretty sure we were in Theater 3, and it was right after Smurfs, because they don't change the ticket,
the marquee, yeah.
Yeah, they don't change that fast enough. So I'm like, am I really walking into Smurfs? Like, when we ran into you and together, it didn't say together. It said whatever.
Right, yeah, it didn't say together. No,
So I'm like, you know what? I'm over here for the right thing, and I got to check with the other people in the audience. And
yeah, I actually didn't go until this week, so it must have already moved into a smaller theater.
okay,
So my theater was smaller, and I could hear everything. Anyway, she tells the story that at 2:17 a.m., 17 kids from Justine Grady's third grade class got up, walked downstairs, walked out the door, and disappeared into the darkness. And
now you should mention here because the trailer's going to show it, and I think maybe the movie showed it, maybe they didn't, but if they didn't, they're going to show it soon. The kids are walking with like
their arms out, yeah,
almost like they're pretending to be flying, like they're birds or some shit.
Yep. What you'll notice,
It's added to the creepiness of it, totally.
It definitely does, and the symbolism of witchcraft, which it plays heavily but also subtly. It never gets explained. No one ever figures it out. So it's really just Easter eggs for the viewer. I believe so. So people might posit why were their arms out like that. It's because they make the shape of a triangle.
Okay.
So back to the story.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it looks super cool. Some people call it the Naruto run. Those people obviously haven't seen Naruto, because Naruto, you have to be completely bent over with your head forward and then your arms back like this.
That's cool too.
Yeah. So
let's have people running backwards in the next movie that's told that where there's an incredible story told with a very shitty format. Let's do that.
So the narration goes on to say that that the authorities are embarrassed that they didn't solve the crime or whatever, and that many people die in many strange ways during this story, which is true, more or less. The body count was a little low. I'll save that for the BTS. AI, clip that.
So, Haas, which one is the most popular short so far? Stephen Anthony almost chokes on nothing.
Yes.
It
And
has
it's
2,000
it's
views.
simply called Stephen Coughing. Um, all right. Uh, Eventually, it gets to there's like a memorial on the school, the front of the school, and they say the school's been closed since the incident. But about 30 days later, they had to bring school back because the kids that survived have to learn. But before they did,
Because schools make money by attendance.
yeah. But before
Fun
that,
fact.
but before
That's why they reopened.
that's true. But before they did, they all had a meeting at the school, and this is where our story begins, and that's where the narration ends until the very end, where it comes back for just a
And
little
this
bit.
meeting is great, and this is where I love the format that we got to see it from Justine's point of
Justine's
view and then
perspective.
from Archer's point of view.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
All right. So the guy who plays Marcus, his name is Benedict Wong, which if we could talk about for just 1 second, he's an English actor. He plays a character named Wong, and his co-star Doctor Strange is Benedict Cumberbatch. What a weird coincidence in the Doctor Strange films.
So
I don't know if anybody's ever talked about
that's
that or noticed that before.
that's racist.
But I'm,
So obviously I knew that it was
he
Wong from
plays a
Doctor Strange
character
movies.
named Wong. That's not. I didn't cast him.
I'm not saying you're racist. I'm saying the
Oh,
fact. I'm saying Disney's racist that they didn't. You know, I mean, listen. You go in for a character named Wong, and your last name is Wong. Should they change it? You know, Ralph Macchio changed Daniel, whatever it was supposed to be, to Daniel LaRusso because I think it was supposed to be Daniel something else.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So
It wasn't Daniel's son.
it was not Daniel LaRusso. It was supposed to be like Daniel Gonzalez or something.
Oh,
But you know, then this Italian kid comes in, so they changed it to Daniel LaRusso.
right.
So you know, one of the great bastions of movie history and one of the best movies of all time, in my humble opinion.
Very true.
The character wasn't supposed to be that. So Benedict Wong, I did catch that he's working with Benedict Cumberbatch before. He is not what you remember him from the Avengers or Doctor Strange movies.
No,
Very,
and honestly, I loved his performance, and
it was great.
I loved his character. He is definitely one of the reasons to watch this movie. His performance is so fantastic.
Haas, let's keep shit real since we're live.
All
Who is
right.
that on your phone?
That was a company called Lightspeed who's calling to set up my credit card machine for the con this weekend. I will call them back when the podcast.
You're not going to be
is
swiping on my Square reader?
I'm not going to swipe with your Square this weekend. I have my own machine. I have no product besides my book. I didn't get anything done in time.
Neither did I.
But I will have 3 T-shirts for the Syracuse Con.
Why don't you bring stuff from Good Games in Oneonta, New York? You got plenty of merch there. Do you think any of it could be like horror related that you could bring to Syracuse?
You know what? I have a couple dozen bottles of horror themed hot sauce. I don't know.
I mean, I think it'll give. I mean, listen, we nailed it in Connecticut. Connecticut was fantastic.
Yeah.
And No One's Coming being set up in stacks. It was perfect. Your debut novel, and it was there. It created a presence. I don't think you need novelty, especially sharing a table with me with my 10 issues and my 1 standalone. I think we have lots of stuff for people to visually scan. But if you wanted to put a hot sauce in the middle,
I think I'll just bring my book and we'll have hopefully my graphic next time, and I'll have 3 T-shirts. I'm gonna have a T-shirt that promotes my next book, my first piece of promo merch, and then I'm gonna have 2 T-shirts from my new favorite writer-director Zach Kreger, a Barbarian T-shirt and a Weapons T-shirt.
wow,
Yeah.
wow, that wasn't snarky at all.
The Barbarian
So
T-shirt that
yeah,
I
hopefully
made,
I'll
I'm
have 11,
extremely
12, and
proud of.
13. Hopefully I'll have 11, 12, and 13 of Dark Wake printed. I do not. Just 1 to 10. I got to work. You know what I got to do? I got to start adulting and managing my time better. I love my job, And so yeah, we'll work on that. So right now, is there any hot sauce in the movie Weapons right now, or does Marcus use hot sauce on his food? Which at one point, I know I'm going to skip ahead. 6 hot dogs and cheese doodles,
Oh my god! And I love,
dude.
I,
That
one. What's so funny about it is just how normal these two gay guys are, right? They're just like gonna watch this fucking nature documentary and eat hot dogs in the middle of the day, dip carrots into ranch. Like, so this is a great scene where they never told you he was homosexual or married to a man. It was never mentioned, never brought up, never commented on. It's just part of normal everyday life. This
yeah,
is the
because it
way.
doesn't matter.
This is the way that quote unquote wokeness should be
Yes,
portrayed in media. It should be
yes,
portrayed completely. You don't have to bang the audience's head against the screen and say, "Look at these gay people; they're normal too." You
yeah.
just have to show them doing normal things.
Just
He's
just do it.
he's on the phone with Justine in the grocery store. The husband is holding up
I love that.
two boxes of cereal, and he just points at one. He throws it in the basket. This seemingly mundane scene is so like refreshing to see in a time period where there are pieces of media that are going to bash you over the head with their wokeness. Um, when you get to watch this movie Weapons with Zach Kreger writing it and obviously being conscious of like no, this is all just real life. Like we have to make this as real and realistic as possible. That's how you make good horror movies. You immerse people into the world by making them feel like they could be in that same world. They could be this character. They could be friends with that character. You have to make people relate to the film in order to get them invested.
Take a note from Zach. Do what he did, especially in that form of the storytelling. While I did not enjoy the format, I did enjoy that cereal shopping scene
It
immensely.
was
I thought it
so
was
good. It
taking
was so
advantage.
good.
Mhm.
All right. Justine, at the meeting, beginning of the movie, the narration is over.
Let's
Um,
talk. We were talking about the hairstylist at the beginning of this movie. This is the first scene where we get to see Justine's hairstyle.
right.
Haas, what did you think of her? I know we're going really, really nitpicky.
All right.
We're going through super detail before we go do the wide brushstroke.
Right.
Um,
I'm gonna say that. All right. I don't like to sexualize actors and actresses, especially in art media.
we can sexualize Josh Brolin. I will.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say that I think Julia Garner is a beautiful woman, and I'm just gonna say that like as plainly as I can right there,
She
and that
was beautiful and
and
powerful in
and I,
Ozark.
and
I
I
think everybody recognizes
oh
her for.
right. Well, that's kind of where I fell for Julia was from her character in Ozark, and I love her hairstyle. I love her outfit. I love her performance. She's so like quirky, anxious, a little subdued, but then when she gets pushed a little, she actually stands up for herself and can be a little loud and a little powerful. Whereas like her character from Ozark is just straight power, like from the
Yeah,
gut.
yeah.
Um,
I really enjoyed watching Ozark before COVID. Ozark survived COVID, where Glow didn't.
right.
Sense8 didn't survive because of the production costs, but Ozark was one of those Netflix originals. Can we talk about Jason Bateman for a second? Is there anything? I know this is impossible to answer. Is there anything do you think Julia Garner picked up in terms of where Tom Hanks talks about how he picked up so much stuff from Denzel Washington in Philadelphia? Do you think there's anything that Julia Garner picked up from Jason Bateman on Ozark that she was able to bring to Weapons? Any kind of nuance, any kind of duplicitous?
To work that closely with Jason and Laura Linney, I would say, can I pick it out? No. I'm not trained in that art form.
But we can assume that it's there.
But yeah, I mean, she was pretty young in Ozark. She had done a handful of movies, a couple of horror films actually. So she's not new to the genre. Um, but yeah, I mean, the being still a young and up and coming actress at the time, there's no way she didn't uh, pick up from I would say Laura Linney is one of the greatest dramatic actresses of all time. Um, and of course, Jason Bateman is
He's phenomenal.
he's
I don't
phenomenal. He's phenomenal. He just,
I don't
I
think
mean,
he gets enough credit. I really, really don't.
no,
With all the credit that he's gotten, just a phenomenal actor. His
yeah,
performance in Juno for me was so powerful. Laura Linney, while we're down this rabbit hole that the editor can clip up for us, I did not like her when she first came out. I did not like her in Primal Fear whatsoever. Loved her in Mothman Prophecies, probably one of my favorite horror movies that I actually did see. I thought she was great in that with Richard Gere, which she also did Primal Fear with.
right.
By the time she got to Ozark,
Oh, yeah.
so good, so good.
There was one. I think my favorite Laura Linney. I can never remember the name of the film. Is the one where she plays the. She's like a pro bono lawyer working on a. Kevin Spacey's an innocent man on death row in Texas,
Is he though?
getting the getting the he's gonna get the death penalty,
Oh, really?
and she
Bummer.
she works really really hard with I think one other character with one other like famous actor to get the guilty overturned. Um,
The guilty verdict, yeah.
yeah, and they don't. And so it was a really really
Really?
solid movie because it was a true story, and the
Okay.
movie was really excellent. Not to mention Congo, one of my guilty pleasure horrible movies that I like to watch.
Wait, is that the movie? I worked in a video store. I know that it's funny because a friend of mine, we were like mirroring the jobs from Clerks. I was working in a video store. I want to say I was pretty fucking young. When there was a movie Congo out with about a big ape. Is that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. She
Is
leads
in there?
she leads the expedition for the company that was paying for the expedition to get these
Why did I think that was Charlize Theron?
diamonds. It was Laura Linney, and
Right,
it was also a Michael Crichton novel.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
He had a big year. He had a big couple of years with Jurassic Park, Congo, and Sphere. Um,
I wanted to watch Fear when it came out. Dustin Hoffman made a comment about it, about Samuel L. Jackson catching him being Dustin Hoffman, and so it's on YouTube now, which is the only platform I have right now. So I want to watch it. Is that a good movie?
no.
You know what is a good movie, according to you? Weapons, where Julia Garner is portraying Justine, and we're at
And
the
we're
school
at
meeting.
the school. We are literally 2 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes into the podcast. So, this movie brings up a lot, and there is a lot to talk about. Whether you want to give it a 5 or a 10, there's a lot to talk about.
I want to give it a 4,
Yeah,
but it's so good that I have to give it a 5.
yeah. So, we have a psychologist babbling on about feelings, and Archer, Josh Brolin, stands up and tells him, "We don't want to hear from you. We want to hear from Miss Grady. What was she
Can we
doing
stop
in
the
that
bullshit
classroom?"
and get to the point of what's going on? There are fucking kids missing.
Yeah, we want. What was she doing in that classroom? We need to know. So Justine gets up and doesn't get to say very much before the mob ensues the way the mob ensues.
But Marcus does try to come to her rescue.
Yeah, Marcus.
And just talk about how she's a victim along with everybody else here.
Yeah, and that great line. Like, she is a victim too, right?
Yep.
She says, "I loved those kids." Of course, the mom says, "Bullshit, right. Well, I'm their parents. You're just their teacher. How could you love those kids?" And then she gets escorted out by Marcus, and Marcus says, "Go straight home. Don't leave your house."
Do not go. Do not collect $200. I know we normally do a deep dive on the angle of the cameras, the acting choice, the writing, the directing, the trusting of the audience. Let's dive into what Justine is thinking in this moment, right? Because Julia's performance is so incredible. I thought right away, okay, she's not the nefarious villain here. She is a victim. I do agree with Marcus here.
Mm-hmm.
What is this woman going through at this moment where, the town that she lives in, I don't know if she grew up there or returned there, or I don't know. I don't remember that part of the backstory. But, she's in this town and now everybody hates her.
Yeah, it doesn't discern whether she's new or to the town or not. It seems like she is, like she moved to the town for the job, as that's what I would say is her
Right, because
backstory.
her last school, like she had a thing where she
Yeah.
cared too much and got into trouble for being a good person.
Well, she got in trouble actually for fraternizing with another employee. So you could assume it.
I thought she drove some kid home.
She did those two things, I believe, at this school.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So the reason she got let go was she had an inappropriate relationship with another employee.
I know it comes up in her history later when they're like accusing her. I'm not sure if it's in her chapter or another chapter, where we see her going to the liquor store after this meeting, and we meet. Is it Paul?
We meet we meet
We meet,
James or Jamie real quick.
and
No, it's
I
James.
knew we were
Yeah.
going to see him later in the movie, and he's awesome. We'll talk about him in a second.
Hey,
Um,
I'm
but
trying to
then it
get a
comes
bus
back later.
ticket.
It's like, oh, do you know she has a DUI? So
Right.
she definitely has passed. Yeah,
Yeah. So she has a drinking issue.
yeah.
James, yeah, she meets. So she goes straight from the meeting instead of straight home. She goes straight to the liquor store, grabs two giant bottles of vodka,
Mm.
or gin. I think it actually might have been gin, because later she brings out like seltzer and limes, or maybe it was quinine and limes. I think she's making gin and tonics for herself.
Have
Uh,
you ever worked as a mixologist,
yeah,
Haas?
yeah, yeah. I'm a licensed bartender. I took a class in New York City, actually.
Did, did you use your mixology skills at the Pale Horse in Oneonta, New York?
Oh yes, I did.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, Anyway, so James meets her at the door and holds the door for her as junkies do, and says, "I'm
Saving
trying,
for a bus ticket.
I'm trying to get money together for a bus ticket to see my brother. Do you have any spare change?" And he says it really, really fast, and she just doesn't look at him, keeps her eyes
She
forward.
doesn't even see him.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, he hits her with the exact same thing on the way out. And that was kind of funny, especially if you live in a town like Oneonta where there are a lot of junkies. Um, what's so funny about James's character for me is all of his behavior I've seen on the street in real life. Um,
Come visit Oneonta, New York. It's awesome. It is not plagued by
oh
drugs
no
or
no
drugs.
no 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 no! They exist, and I'm really like I like to be aware of my surroundings and I like to pick them out and I'll watch them if I'm walking and I see them and stuff like that. So yes, they're few and far between. It's not like they're everywhere. But yes, James's character exhibits all classic behavior and was so well written. It
Yeah.
like and also I should say that this town or small city feels a lot like Oneonta as I'm watching it. I felt very at home in the setting of this film. Um, okay, she gets home, she's drinking, and I believe she has a knock at the door. And then things get a little creepy, and then there's loud knocks at the door.
Yeah. Okay.
She goes outside with her pepper spray, and someone has painted the word witch in red on her car.
So there's something awesome here, right? That we almost feel like there has to be some kind of supernatural thing going on. She's obviously going to be the prime target. She gets this scarlet letter graffiti on her car of, the word that is presumably what is going on here. So I really, really like that storytelling, but I'm not going to wait because I don't want to miss it. 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now in the movie, I'm going to get pissed off. Do you not go to a hardware store and buy great spray paint and fucking fix your shit? After you try to wash it and wash it and wash it and it doesn't come off, do you just drive around town where people hate you with the word witch on your fucking car? Sorry, this movie's not a 10, maybe a 9 if you really loved it. That alone, 1 point down.
All right. Uh, so it cuts right to the morning, and she's like washing the paint, and it's obviously not coming off.
And that didn't bother you. I know. I'm sorry. I know. I know you're trying to like get Steven past this shit. But did it
Okay.
piss you off?
All right. I mean, well, think about it. This woman's in her mid to late 20s. We don't know her level of handiness. We also know that she's a borderline alcoholic. She's suffered a trauma. Like, are you even in your right mind? Like, do you care that much? She cares so much about. She immediately goes into investigative mode after her encounter
I
with.
really like that. Like I really, and she did it low key too. She was
Yeah,
really smart about inviting Paul, looking after what's the little kid's name?
Alex.
Looking after Alex. I really like that. And when I'm talking to you, I almost feel like my brain wants to be pulled into your interpretation of this movie, rather than my own. But I'm gonna stand firm in
Yeah,
my principles and my integrity.
do it.
Nevertheless, maybe she is so traumatized, and this is some fucked up shit going on where, and people do this. Like, listen,
Right.
you know, your car gets hit by a deer. You know you're supposed to fix it, and you fucking don't. So maybe Zach, I was being a little too hard 60 seconds ago.
so, so, he- um, yeah. So,
The witch
that's
on
what
the
I wanted
car.
to say. Before we continue, we did miss two details. One important was that one boy named Alex all did not disappear. That next morning in her class, she walked in and it was just her and Alex.
And he's a creepy little fuck. He's
Yes.
just sitting there. We're gonna figure out why at the end of the movie, and it's gonna be awesome. But damn, like like it was perfect
Yeah.
for the story. It was perfect how that kid
Yeah.
showed up.
I love Alex. He did an amazing job
He
as
did.
well. So the other detail, which actually this one is the only thing that irked me a little bit, is she does get a phone call, and it's heavy breathing, and it sounds like a man, and then a woman's voice comes on and kind of yells a line at her, and now this could have been anyone in town, especially coming off of that meeting at the school, but
Mhm.
as movies unravel and they move forward, they usually answer all of your questions. Like in the Archer chapter, we're going to get an answer to the witch painted on the car question. We never get the who called her question answered. I guess it doesn't really matter. Um,
You are deep diving here. See that I'm happy to just write off as
yeah,
just peppering the story into the story. Into it. She's being harassed. She's being targeted.
right.
I just assumed it was just a person being an asshole.
So the cops come and they look at the word witch, and or she drives it to the police station actually.
And this is kind of like a forwarding or a pivotal moment where it's going to be one of the things where the chapters are going to go back and visit. It's one of those key moments in
Yes,
time.
right. So she sees Paul come out of the police station, and she gives him a wave, and he gives her an awkward kind of wave, and then we cut right to her drinking, or maybe she has a scene with Marcus first, where
Well, she explains to the cop, what's
yeah,
going on, and who they think it is, and he's telling like an innocuous, pointless story, so that when we get Paul's version of it, we don't even hear it, and we just see from his point of view, and that's when we realize after, and she didn't do it right away. She sends him the hate text, and it just seems like, oh, she's having a rough time. No, she's not. She's just super low key in detective mode. She wants to find out what he finds out, and she's using their past to get that information.
yeah.
And that's not, like you said, not beaten over the head. Zach is really, really good at this storytelling. That's not beaten over the head right away. We figured that out later. So
Well,
I got to give this
yeah.
movie a nod with that storytelling.
Yeah, so we talk a lot about trusting the audience. This movie trusts its audience more than any movie I've ever seen. I'm just going to run down the bullet points so I don't forget them right now. This
Mm-hmm.
movie does not tell you or show you that that Archer painted the word witch on the car, but we know that he did. This movie does not tell you that she's an alcoholic, although we assume that she is because of her present behavior combined with her DUI in her past.
Mm-hmm.
This movie does not tell you that Paul is an alcoholic. but it does mention that he should go. Like the wife says, go to a meeting,
Are you going to a meeting? Yeah,
and
I picked up on. I thought that was great.
but that happens after he refuses to get a drink from her. So
Yeah,
why is he not drinking with her? Is it because he's married and wants and doesn't want to hook up with his ex?
right.
So we
Which
have
is what I thought at the time.
right. So we have lots of questions that don't deliberately get answered, but they very subtly get answered because Zach Kreger trusts his audience to pay attention to his movie and to listen to his words and to watch, his pictures and figure it out on their own.
And you paid attention to this movie. Why do you believe that Archer painted the word witch on her car?
So right next in the Archer story, the first thing that happens is he shows up. Well, the first thing that happens is his wife.
Oh, he's got red paint in the back of his truck
Yeah, because he bought the
because he
wrong
fucked
color.
up and ordered the wrong color. It was supposed to be forest green,
Yeah, he bought the wrong color.
and that's the second fuck up he did on that job.
Right,
They still had open frames.
because
The owner was coming that Friday or whatever,
yeah,
and he screwed up something other than the paint.
he forgot to order the siding.
That's it.
So back to the Justine story because we have a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we she's so I don't know exactly when, but peppered throughout, she has two conversations with Marcus where she brings up Alex, and Marcus says, "Stay away from Alex. He's been traumatized. His family's been traumatized. They've been interviewed by the police 100 times. It's like you. It is not your position to talk to Alex. It is you are a teacher. You are not their parent." A very well written explanation of the blurring of the lines and how
Yes.
and to keep the boundary.
And a great performance here by Benedict Wong, who very easily, that dialogue, you see it on a page, and it's your job as an actor to make it real. It could have been done very, very badly by a lesser actor. It could have just been like very canned, very
Yeah,
wooden, oh, stay away from stay away from the little kid. I told you stay. It just feels very small town, perfect writing, perfect. It was very, very well done.
yeah. I can't stress enough how Benedict Wong wasn't in enough of this movie, but crushes his performance.
How do you fit him into more of this movie when
I mean, you
again
can't, you can't.
score, Julia Garner and Josh Brolin crushing it in
Yeah.
every single scene?
No, that's true. You can't give him more. It's like he's just a supporting role, but he crushes it.
Yeah,
I mean, they all do, honestly.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
especially Gladys, who we'll get to later. Uh,
So she's the sixth character that you're thinking of. Okay, got it.
no, I'm not, but we'll get to that too. I saw it
Her
twice.
name was Gladys.
Her name is Gladys. Yeah, Aunt Gladys. Um, they're drinking in the bar. She it's she's in her room. Cut. There's a lot of hard cuts. Lot of hard cuts where he doesn't show you what happens here and there. He's like, you don't need to see the character, walk from the car to the office. You see the car in the parking lot, hard cut, sitting at the desk in the office. He does this constantly through the movie. I think it was an excellent technique. Um, it's a little J.J. Abrams, but I'm a huge J.J. fan. The way he directs, I love this technique in this movie. A lot of the filler in a film has completely been removed by this. Sometimes you would see a car pull into a driveway and park, so you get like 3 or 4 extra seconds before she gets out of the car. No, the scene before it, hard cut, and the car is already parked, and she's sitting there in the car, and she opens the door. Like they cut out all the filler, um, and these transitions because they're so matter of fact. I think they add to once again the artificial ramped up adrenaline pacing with all these hard cuts is just like they're jarring, so like it's another technique that's putting you into like an agitated or anxious state, just adding to the tension of the film.
What I will say is that Zach was very thoughtful and utilized this format of storytelling and took advantage of that. And so, what you're talking about was one of the things that he got to do that maybe you wouldn't do in a more linear or a more traditionally told story. So yeah, he was very thoughtful and he didn't waste it. He left nothing on the floor. He didn't waste any opportunities that he had. He said, okay, I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
What can I do that other people can't, and something that we don't need to do because, like you said, it's going to go from 12 to 10 to 8 to 6. We can benefit that we don't have to give context every single time around. What can we do?
Right.
So that device that he used in his story was very well played.
Right. So she plays like a funny song on her phone, or it's like "Good Morning" by the Beatles, I think. And the camera pans to the bed. He's in the bed. He's like hungover. He's like, "God, you haven't changed at all." They have a little laugh, and she's driving him home, presumably. No, she's driving him to his car at the bar. This is where they have the conversation where she digs a little and tries to find out how the investigation's going.
Yes, which she waited.
Yeah.
Guys, she waited. They will wait. They are patient. We are not. They will do what they have to do to get what they want. Am I a misogynist? No, I am not.
Yeah.
They will wait. Paul, she's waiting, man.
Yeah.
She's waiting. You're not as smart as her.
So he tells her that they're on it. We're on it. And she's just not convinced. She's just
that made me reminisce about I think it was Mark Ruffalo and Jake Gyllenhaal in Zodiac, where they're talking about the Zodiac killer, and Mark Ruffalo was like, "We are actively pursuing all current leads." Another way of saying, yeah, this is fucking done. We don't give a shit. Is he telling the truth here? Is Paul? Are they on it? Are they working on it? Or is he just giving her the pad answer? Like, honey, we don't really give a shit. Which one do you think it is?
I think it's the pad answer. I do think they give a shit. It's 17 kids, but like
a little bit of both.
The first thing he says is, I don't know if you know this. I'm not a detective, right? Like he's trying to explain the hierarchy of like police work. Like he's a beat cop. He drives around and gives people tickets, and if he sees something crazy, he deals with it, or he waits for a call on the radio. He is not part of the investigation. But then she digs deeper, and he just says, "We're on it. We're working on it. Everybody's working on it." Like it's so that's kind of just to shut her up, really, because he probably wants to be a detective, but he's not. He's like stuck. He's stuck in this job where his boss is his wife's dad, and we don't know that yet.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like
I love all that. I love that nuance, and I love that there. And as a guy, to admit that, you're not the alpha. You're not the alpha dog in the room. You're not the guy in charge, and it's your wife's dad that you have a tense relationship with.
Right.
Which I recognize that actor. I don't know if you want to go very quickly to IMDb to find out his name, give him a shout out. But I recognized him from Glow, and he was kind of like the angel investor in season 3 of Glow. He's a good actor that gave a very, very solid performance.
He is unfortunately not on the first page.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He's like a character actor. You see him in a bunch of stuff. He's always like a cop or a deputy or like the town drunk. I think I've seen him as the town drunk in a half a dozen movies.
But he's great. There's one scene where I think Paul's wife is busting his balls about how they're going to meet him in the weekend, and Paul just has this great awkward conversation where he tries to be friendly and tries to follow up. So he's like, "Hey, I'll see you Sunday," and this police chief is like, "Yeah, see you Sunday," and he's like, "Oh, 25th anniversary, whatever the fuck the occasion is."
Lot of years.
Yeah, like that's it. He's trying to be jovial and casual and friendly with this guy, and it's just not taking. It's just not working.
He's like, "You calling me old? Why are you calling me old?" And he's like, "Oh, deer in headlights," and he's like, "I'm just giving you shit."
Like that's what I thought. It's like, okay, he's actually just. They were trying, but it was so beautifully awkward. So really great writing, directing in that scene. But yeah, it's difficult for a guy to admit, hey, ex-smoking hot girlfriend. I'm not the person with the answers. That's not easy to do.
Yeah. So his name is Toby Huss, and he has 170 acting credits going back to 1984. The guy's a legend.
Damn, Toby. And what's that on your shoulder, Haas?
This is Rose. This is
Oh,
her Rose Rose Flower is her full name.
rose flower.
Yeah, and this one
It's a little bit.
the other one
Are
is
you Haas human? Like, what is that?
the other one is Red Lotus, Rose Flower and Red Lotus.
I didn't know Lotus. Wait, now I'm confused. I knew it was Lotus and I knew it was Rose. Now you tell me Rose's last name is Flower and Lotus's first name is Red.
Yeah, so there's a Korean horror film called A Tale of Two Sisters, and their names in uh, what am I talking about? Their names in Korean are Suyun and Sumi, and they translate to Rose Flower and Red Lotus. Um,
You
so
named your cats after a Korean horror film.
after the sisters, because they're sisters.
Oh, okay, that's sweet. Paul, she's dropping off Paul at his car. And this is listen. This is none of this is Haas's fault. This is all my fault. This would be one of our solid on point. Didn't go off on any tangents like Sinners or this is. We're not trying to do. I know what you did last summer. Go off on tangents because the movie sucks.
Right.
Weapons is an excellently crafted film that I did not enjoy. So this
Right.
is my fault.
Right. Okay. She drops him off. Then her investigation begins. She tries to confront Alex on the street and have a little conversation. She screams, "Leave me alone! Don't talk to me!" Something like that, and runs into his house. And
Does
what's
that happen right here? I thought that happened later. Why was I thinking that happened later? Like when we start to find out who Alex is. I'm not. If you're saying it happened this early, I believe you.
um okay, yeah, I did miss a scene where she's in the liquor store again, and Paul's wife Donna follows
But yeah,
her.
this is gonna happen. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
gonna happen after he drops Paul off. There's that awkwardness. Maybe we see something with the police chief there. Maybe we don't. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But we didn't even get to the Archer chapter yet. Which, so Justine's starting doing her investigation.
Yep.
Not to skip ahead, I really, really enjoyed Archer's investigation,
Yep.
and that's where I would have appreciated if this movie was told in a traditional format. I wanted to see more of that. You get
Right.
the trajectory of two kids, and 2 out of 17 are the only ones with cameras in their fucking homes, not five, not four. And so that was another. And I remember talking about it on the way home, and I was like, only two bells or like. And but I really liked Archer's persistence. I really liked how he got the map, and I wanted to see. I just wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. I wanted more weapons at that point. But then I got to the Paul chapter and the James chapter, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, what we're doing.
So we should say that there is another night, I think, that goes by where, yeah, so she gets assaulted by Donna, and maybe she kind of stalks Alex a little bit and has a conversation with Marcus, and then we're back in her home for a nightmare that ends with a creepy thing on the ceiling that kind of has a doll face. Oh no, that's not hers. The creepy Alex in the back of the classroom. She walks into her classroom. All 17 kids are back with their heads down. And as she walks through, Alex picks his head up and it has the creepy clown makeup on.
Great scene.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed that I probably paid too much attention to, I was like, Haas is going to notice that creativity blows your mind is what is behind Alex for every single shot that we see him in the classroom. I was like, that might be a key detail. It wasn't, but I paid attention to it.
Yeah, yeah. The set dressing was really, really nice. Like everything was just so realistic. It just helped with the immersion. It was fantastic. It's the difference between a B movie and an A movie, like or a Hollywood movie. Like
The set
you
designer
see
gave a shit.
yeah you see an empty room and the camera is stiff and the acting is stiff and you're like, oh, this didn't have a big budget. It's a B movie. You have so much set dressing. There's so much to look at that it's actually not realistic because the emptier apartment, the emptier kitchen is probably more realistic. But there's so much set dressing, so much to look at that it's the Hollywood magic of it makes it feel more real.
I
Anyway,
feel if this story took place in September, less on this stuff would have made sense. This
right?
happening in March, where a teacher like did stuff, and every month, and they're building,
Yeah,
they're building, they're
the
building
whole
it.
year's
Sometimes
over.
they take
Yeah,
it down to do. Sometimes someone stays up. The set designer gave that level of attention to detail, and they cared to that extent where it comes across without you realizing it's coming across, and it
yeah.
it raises the excellence of this film.
So she has the crazy dream. The next day is when she confronts Alex. He yells at her and runs away, and she's right at his house. He runs into the house. And what's
Hmm.
creepy about this is that every time this door opens, you
Yeah,
never see it who opens it. It just opens, and then
yeah.
people go either in or out, and then it closes. You never see a hand on the knob, which is super fun, and you do catch what's happening later, but it's just a nice effect to add to the creepiness.
So
Um,
deep dive. What I was saying, I guess my criticism of this movie is that for me, and I could be wrong, it takes place over 1.5, 2.5, maybe 5 days. I don't know.
yeah, I think it's 3 to 4 days.
So 3 to 4 days, and it's like, okay, how do you tell 3 to 4 days over a period of an hour and a half, 2 hour movie time span, and you do it by breaking it up the way that they did it. So I get it. I appreciate it. But at this point, all the action is leading to this door in this house that we're going to get from Archer's investigation as well, but not right when he does it. So I really, really appreciated that. What's your opinions on Alex at this point? Does he is he
So
is
so
he is he a suspect like Justine is, or is he not a suspect for you at this point, Hans?
well, at this moment, maybe not at this moment, but maybe 1 minute into this movie's future, in
Innocent kid being harassed by a teacher.
in my in my opinion, this house is the solution to the film.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the center of the film. Like this is um
This is where Archer's lines are
this
converging.
are gonna cross. Like this is it. Like and it only takes me another minute. So I'm like okay, that was a little creepy. The door effect was creepy. So she goes around to the back, and it's all the windows are newspapered up. I'm like,
I love this scene.
okay, oh, okay, all the newspapers. Okay, so this is definitely the house. Like, this is the house where the kids are. Whatever's going on is going on inside this house. I cannot wait to get it revealed to me.
Hmm.
She goes around to the back, and there's a gap in the newspaper. She looks in, and there's two what you might think are corpses,
Yeah, that's what
in,
I
in,
thought.
in full rigor mortis on the couch facing the window.
Yep, just
And
like that.
she freaks out and runs off. Um,
Well, does she freak out and run off, or is there like action that makes her do that? Did they open their eyes or some shit?
nope, nope.
She just sees them,
She
and that's
sees
what
them.
makes
She makes a noise, and then
yeah,
she
it's like she trips like a rake or
a
some shit.
rake. Yeah. Then she goes
I
back
thought that
to
was great.
then she goes back to the car, and then I think that's when she goes back to the liquor store and gets assaulted by Donna, and then she comes back to do her overnight with her sippy cup now full of the new liquor that she just got.
Yes.
And this scene is nuts. This scene
And
is
so
nuts.
so hold on, because we're about to be introduced to a new character,
Yeah.
which was awesome and speaks everything in this movie. What I really, really liked about this movie and Together, everything served the narrative, where some things in other movies it didn't, and it's like, why am I being told this if it doesn't go there? So yeah, we're about to be told that. But Donna in the liquor store, we're gonna see her conversation with Paul later, where she's so disappointed in him. But right now, we're not gonna get the why. We're gonna get the what. She just goes straight up to Justine, "You bitch,"
You
and
fucked him.
you fucked him. And I think either Justine falls back, or does Donna hit her? Do you remember?
I think she like grabs her and pushes her. She falls
Oh,
down. Yeah. Then she like opens a bottle and dumps the entire bottle on her. Like empties the
yeah,
entire bottle
yes.
onto her.
I was like, bitch is about to like get like a Zippo lighter and
Yeah. I thought that was
like
gonna happen
make her
too.
go on fire or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So she's drinking, watching the house, and she passes out. And
during her stakeout.
yep. And then we don't know what time it is. We know it's overnight. We got the nice blue light effect and the door opens in the same creepy way that it always opens, and out comes this blonde woman who we have yet to see, and she's holding scissors in her hand above her head like this, and her hair is manic, and she's jittering, like stiff-legged walking, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is your first non, horror element, villain, whatever you want to call it, and you're like,
Oh, Hashi froze up.
oh, did I?
Oh, you're back.
Okay.
No, you're back.
All right. So this is your first monster, villain, non-dream sequence entity, and it's fucking creepy as hell. The way it's moving, the way it's stuttering.
And if you're gonna hurt somebody with a scissor, it's pretty easy to do. Just stab them in the fucking ear. That's not what happens. There's a little bit of a snip snip here, which now we're starting to figure out
yeah, what's going on?
what the villain's modus operandi is, like how they operate, and now the title of the movie is going to start to make sense.
So she walks past the car, and you're like, what the hell? And then you hear the door open, and you're like, oh fuck. The way he shot this, like, with you not being able to see what she was up to, and it's the camera's like tight on Justine, and then you see the scissors come in, and the scissors go to the hair instead of the neck, and then it clips, and then the hand grabs the hair, and then yeah. I believe that's the end of Justine's chapter. We move to Archer. So it cuts back to the meeting at the school.
Loved it.
And it's quick though. We get Archer's bullshit. I want to hear from her, and we know what happens next. So it cuts to them outside, and it's
from a different angle.
From a different angle, the crowd.
Different angle on Archer, where the camera's on him now.
Yep, and
not on her being the victim, but him being the victim.
Yeah, in the background.
And outside, Marcus is taking care of her. It's like over there.
Yep.
And he's doing something else over here.
Yep. And then he goes to the truck, and he gives like, I don't know if this is here. This isn't here. He goes to his truck. Then we have a dream sequence. I think he has two dreams.
Okay, so the beautiful human, she had one critique of this movie. She loved this movie. She had one critique during this dream sequence where Archer is asleep on Batman bed sheets.
Yep.
So we know it's not his bed. It's presumably his missing son's bed sheets. He has a dream. So, she's going to crucify me if I don't ask you. There is a gun, and I'm not a gun guy. Don't know what kind. AK-47, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
With 217 on it, and she did send me a text of the relevance of 217. There's a biblical reference. There's a Stephen King reference. There's a bunch of stuff with 217. But 217 is on like that, alarm clock font on the gun that's floating over the house that he's going toward. That presumably his son, and I forget the son's name, but he was the dick bully in the movie. That there's Alex in the beginning.
Yep.
Did you like the gun floating over the house during Archer's dream?
Yeah. So there's a couple reasons for this. I didn't Google it. I didn't want to like get fan theories or whatever. The movie's called Weapons, and we don't know Archer's backstory. Once again, this is the nod to Zach Kreger. He does have a anchor tattoo on the inside of his arm. So we're like Navy maybe, and the gun, and he's obviously built like this guy looks paramilitary, right?
I'm assuming he used a firearm in his time, and for me,
absolutely.
he mapped it on psychically. He mapped on, and that's why the gun was there. So I didn't mind it.
So then we have his son being the bully. Okay, so that's a very like easy line to draw from like a militant father type, and then the child being a bully. And then we have his language when he starts talking about the way these kids disappeared and the way Marcus moved, which we'll talk about later. He says
so good.
He says he was weaponized. He was locked on like a heat-seeking missile. This isn't like language your average everyday person would speak. So I feel like there's a very not obvious, but a very subtle this guy's ex-military, and well, sure, we can assume that, and it's done with context clues, and it's not just told to us. Which, once again, thank you, Zach, for like.
I loved heat-seeking missile, like those exact words, because it lets us know, okay, straight line here, straight line there. No, it gives you flexibility where that heat-seeking missile, where now kids are heat-seeking missiles, can there's some flexibility, and they have a
Right.
target,
They have a target.
and which we'll talk about the end at the end, which I fucking loved. Um, but
Yeah,
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 heat-seeking
yeah. There
missile
is
was
there.
fantastic
Yeah,
language at this point.
it's pretty much a straight line. There is flexibility, but also the mysticism to it.
It's going to be a straight line at first. They're
Right,
going to make a beeline,
a beeline. But
and
then,
then as the heat signature changes,
yeah, if they move or if the road moves. Also, like, um, oh man, what was I gonna say? It was
heat
about
seeking
the
missile,
heat-seeking missile.
heat signature.
Oh, right, right. There's no way the entity itself, the person under control, could know where his target was. So the mysticism, the magic of the whatever,
Process.
you know, sends them to where they need to go.
Yeah,
Yeah, the process knows where they're going.
yeah, yes, it does.
Um, all right. So Archer wakes up. Oh, so Archer sees the clown lady on the ceiling in his dream and wakes up in his son's bed. And the mom comes in, or his wife comes in and says, "I'm going to work." And he goes to work. And he doesn't answer. So you can assume that there's it's a tense household. They lost their son. Like
Yeah,
it's not gonna be easy for anybody.
yeah.
Um, he gets to work, and the foreman is like, "Hey, boss, you got the wrong color. You painted the door
Oh,
red.
you got
It's
right.
supposed
You
to,
got the wrong siding or
yeah,
whatever you
you
pointed
did,
out
yeah, you
earlier.
didn't order the siding. The door's painted red. It's supposed to be green." He grabs the two red paint cans and he puts them in the back of his truck, and the camera lingers for a second, and that's
The
all.
camera does linger on the red paint, and I didn't even catch it.
Yep.
And
That's all
yeah,
you need
great.
to know. That's all you needed to know. That's all he gave you to show you that he painted the word witch. And
Yeah,
what's funny about the word
great catch.
what's funny about the word witch is that, like, wouldn't you want to write the word bitch? But he's still a family man. He doesn't want a curse word being driven around his town to other kids can see it. Like, the word witch is like
And that's
it's
good.
like so innocuous to, like, for him to have written this word, but no, it really means, like, it's obvious foreshadowing that the villain actually is a witch, and it's witchcraft or hoodoo or whatever
Right,
you
but
want to
that's like
call
the
it.
first layer. What you're talking about with his use of language and Family Man, and not putting out profanity,
Yeah,
that is a great insight.
yeah, and this is Archer's character. He has so much anger for Justine. Well, outward, it seems like it's for her, but obviously he's just mad and sad that he's missing his son. But he's got
Which makes it possible for them to join forces, which they're going to do momentarily.
well, yeah, he's got so much outward anger and aggression towards her, but later he'll be encountered by it with her, and he'll start to talk, and she'll immediately get on the defensive and, like, start yelling, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" Like, he's actually coming from a place of care and good nature, even though he had so much anger at the meeting, and it justifiably so. His son,
Hostilities flared
yeah,
at the meeting, but
yeah,
his I don't want to say cooler heads prevailed, but his
his intentions,
tactical, yeah, his
yeah,
tactical strategy going through life, being a boss, being an entrepreneur, being somebody with some kind of experience, a family man. Okay, now let's get rid of all the chaff and the chatter that don't matter. Let's get to the solution of this.
right,
Where do our investigations line up? And let's succinctly bring us to that point. That's I
right,
really, really
yeah.
like that
He
approach.
wants her information
Mm-hmm.
to help him find his son. He doesn't want her drilled because he necessarily thinks she did something. He thinks she knows something.
And the piece of information he's looking for is like he's watching. I think it's Bailey's. parents' footage,
Yeah,
and it's the triangle run.
yeah. It's a triangle.
That's the piece of information that he has,
It's a
and she has a piece of information for him.
yeah. There's triangles all through this movie. They even put a triangle in the O in the word weapons in the opening of the film.
So
Um,
I'm just going to mention it here when we go through the chapters, and I think it's Justine, Archer, Paul, James, and Alex. I wanted a sixth chapter heading of the triangle with the circle in it.
or
So
with
because
the
at a
with the
certain
six.
point, it's no longer Alex's chapter; it's now the movie's resolving.
Yeah,
So to get into the movie's resolution, if I was there, a quick edit that you could have done in post
it's
that
just
I would have made the
throw a
movie
chapter
better.
heading.
Make the resolution have its own chapter heading with that symbol. I would have given it a 7, possibly an 8. I know that makes me sound crazy, but because if you're going to do it by chapters and piss me off, then do it by chapters and make it awesome and don't piss me off.
Yeah,
Let the movie's resolution be the movie's resolution. I know I skipped ahead about 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the movie.
that's all right.
Full on Archer, but I had to get it
Yeah,
out. Have your editor clip this up and just put it right there.
that's all right. Okay, so let's go back to Archer. He leaves the job site and he has another dream where he he wakes up and his son is there and he follows his son and his son is running across the yard and he chases his son and he chases and he sees the water tower and he looks up and there's the gun with the 217 and I'm sure there's a deeper meaning there, but I think it's a lot of just his own psychology in the dream and his own brain trying to figure out what's going on.
That was my interpretation, that his psychic energy, for lack of a better term, his psychology, just mapped something on that for him was something that was real, that would make sense.
Right.
Basically, the dream is telling him there's a weapon here. Follow the weapon
Yeah.
is what it's doing.
Well, so there's a, we can touch on it for just a quick second. The the image of Gladys is in Justine's dream, and the image of Gladys is in Archer's dream. So she, as the antagonist, has some kind of psychic impression on the people in this town because of what she did slash what she's doing. Right?
Mhm.
It's not she they. It's not just random coincidence that this face appears and this body appears in their dreams, right? So yes, so like you said though, I think the gun is just his own psychology. Um,
So next time I go off on a rant, which is not right now, let's steal a moment to go to IMDb and look up the actress who portrayed Gladys. She fucking nailed it.
yes, Amy Madigan.
Amy Madigan, great job.
Amy Madigan, yeah, and she's familiar. She's in Field of Dreams. She's in Uncle Buck. She's
Wait. She's Kevin Costner's wife in Field of Dreams?
Anna Kinsella. Annie Kinsella. Yeah, yes, she is.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, yeah, she's old school Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
she just crushes it in this role.
I just rewatched Field of Dreams like a month ago.
Classic movie.
That's great.
It's actually my motto for how I do business.
Build it and they will come.
Build it and they will come.
It's true.
It's true. And I do it the way Kevin Costner does it. I build what I like, and I hope that other people like it too.
And you put your stuff out there. Whoever you are, writer, artist, musician, dreamer, sculptor, put your stuff out there. There is a market for it. People want it.
Yeah.
Build it and they will come.
Build it
Yeah.
and they will come. Okay. Archer has the dream. Archer draws the line from his house through the water tower.
Loved
So
it.
now, so this is, so I don't, I think, according to the narrator at the beginning, there's plenty of video footage. I think he's particularly looking for video footage far enough away from his house so that he can get a bearing. And he ends up at Bailey's house, where Bailey's mom says she is not comfortable showing him the footage. So he stalks their house and waits for the dad to get home. and
Yeah,
then and the next scene, like you see the dad get out of the car, he approaches him, and it's played by
yeah,
Justin Long, which
yep.
is a great cameo because Justin Long is one of the protagonists of Barbarian, his other Zach Cregger's other movie. So this was a nice cameo.
So you just answered the beautiful human's question. She was like, you know, I
Why
thought that was just long, and then it was, and it's like, why did he get such a short,
a small role?
short clip?
Just
And
just doing a
so
friend a
yeah, it was
favor.
a cameo,
Yeah,
and I didn't know he was in Barbarians, which was done by Zach. So
yeah.
that explains that.
Just doing a friend a favor. You'll Justin Long. It has to be like a superhero in Hollywood because I think he becomes friends with everyone he works with. He's in almost all of the back half of Kevin Smith's work, even if he's in the movie for 5 minutes. And usually
Okay.
he's in the movie for just 5 minutes, like after he was given a role by Kevin in another movie, and that's when they met and became friends and blah blah blah. And now he's in everything.
So
It's
what
really great.
prevents other actors from just being cool and like, hey, not to steal, something from an up and coming actor, not to, get an extra speaking part, but when you're making a movie, there's a lot of pressure and you got to get shit done yesterday. You need solutions now. Oh, why didn't they plan this out 1 month ahead? Because sometimes you can't. And so if you have a friend that could show up and do you a favor, why don't we see more of that? Just because Justin Long is awesome, or other actors are dicks?
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just like to each, each person is different, and you've got cool actors and you've got, pretentious like I'm better than everybody actors. And Justin Long is just, cool and down to earth. That's my guess. I hope he is.
It looks like a generally good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin, come on the podcast for the recently deceased and tell us
Yeah,
your thoughts about this.
yeah. Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe. He has a historic horror career, by the way. Like off the top of my head, without going to his IMDb, Jeepers Creepers, Weapons, Barbarian, um, It's a Wonderful Knife. He produced and or wrote Spin the Bottle with Ali Larter, and they both cameoed in the film. Um, yeah, he's just all over the place.
And that is
I know
the
there's more.
mental power of the Nosferatu, Nathaniel Roberts himself.
Thank you. All right, he so Justin Long, of course, invites Archer right into the house and shows him the footage. What's really funny is the way Archer.
I love the wife in the background. Like she's pissed.
She's
She's mad.
pissed.
She's not pissed.
Yeah, but
I
also
told him he couldn't have it. Now you let him in here.
what I do like about this scene too is how physically intimidating Josh Brolin can be as a man, to and how timid Justin Long is playing this character. Even though Archer just stated his case and asked permission, you kind of feel like Justin Long said yes because Archer made him do it, even though he didn't. Like you
Yes.
get that feeling just from like the energy that both of these characters are giving up.
Yeah.
So
So
much.
Bailey's dad is horizontal with like the computer that they're looking at or whatever they're using to look up this footage, and Archer is very imposingly like over him, almost blocking out the wife in the background.
Yeah.
That was a great shot. That shot said a lot, which you picked up on all the nuances here.
Oh yeah. So we see the line. She's running just like him with her arms out. He counts the spaces. He goes. He puts a flag in. He makes a laser pointer,
That's how he makes the line.
and then he makes a line. And there's a cross. And then he's about to go driving around town to figure out where they meet, but he sees Justine pull into a gas station. So he pulls.
And is
in.
that because she has a giant red word on the side of her car?
Yes, he does. Yes, it does. And he follows her right in, and
Scarlet letter.
she starts pumping gas, and he approaches her, and they start to talk, and she immediately gets angry and defensive. And I love Archer's reaction, where he's just trying to be a good guy and figure this thing out. Um,
Is there any tension
oh,
that he has there since he's the one that wrote the word witch? I don't want to watch this movie a second time, but I want to watch that scene a second time, the gas station scene. It's a great scene anyway,
so
for reasons that you're about to go into.
yep.
Is he uncomfortable at all that, oh, I did this to her? Or is he just
No.
such a tactician that he's just getting what he wants, talks to
Yeah,
her, gets what he wants, and
yeah.
is ignoring what he did.
You don't sense an ounce of remorse or guilt,
Me neither.
uh, i- or even like yeah, I did that. Like the military background, it was a mission. His mission was to write Witch on the car. He did the mission. It's compartmentalized. It's as if he had never even done it. The
Mm-hmm.
consequences because
Mm-hmm.
mission completed, right? Achieved.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Accomplished. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you,
Thanks.
Stephen. All right, so they're starting to have a conversation, and all of a sudden, Justine is caught unawares by Marcus, whose face is covered in blood. His eyes are
Caught
bulged.
unawares? No, 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 no. What the
What
fuck?
the fuck? His eyes are bulging out of his head. Face is covered in blood. His arms are out like a triangle. And he runs through Archer and the gas pump, which tears off the handle to tackle her to the ground and put his hands around her throat.
Heat-seeking missile. There's an episode of G.I. Joe where Cobra gets the G.I. Joe's family members and weaponizes them. Not that Zach didn't come up with something original here, he did. But to the point where they have to crank up the level of control so that they are weapons. They do not give a shit if they scratch their hip or anything else, which we're going to see later and in a fantastic way.
Yeah.
But right now, Marcus shows up, weaponized, beeline for her, doesn't stop. There's no rationale. He's for all intents and purposes, he is a Terminator at this point.
Yeah.
And Justine is the target.
Yep.
Great scene.
Great
Eyes
scene.
bulging out of his head.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, because you got your pulse on, or you got your thumb on the pulse of this movie. Is that when they noticed the gate, the triangle run? Did Archer make that correlation before Marcus
Archer
ran at her or after?
Archer does notice it here in this scene, but he doesn't notice it in this version of the scene. He notices it later when we get the full version of the scene because he had his back to Marcus the whole time.
Okay.
So, what I do like is Archer immediately goes to her rescue and pulls him off, and he gets headbutted and he falls, and she crawls under the car, and he goes under the car, and smash cut. We are Paul, black screen Paul.
So, okay, now come on now, because the later version of the scene
is nuts.
It's great, and Justine's running out, and she's yelling at the clerk, like he's an asshole. Get out of my store. And she says whatever she says to him, like
she says, "Help me,
fucking asshole off me," or something to that effect.
Yeah, she says, "Fucking help me."
Why'd you make me wait? I feel like Clubber T in Rocky 3. You made me wait, Balboa.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I think that's part of the brilliance of the film and why I enjoyed it so much. Was the way the chapters unfolded. Like it really made the movie enjoyable, more enjoyable than if it was linear.
So this is the first time that you gave a higher score, and I knew this was going to go into it. Obviously I knew it. This is the first time that you gave a higher score than I did, and we've disagreed before.
Mm-hmm.
We usually line up, but this is one of those great podcasts for the recently deceased, authentic moments where Haas and I are not giving canned bullshit, to serve whatever the internet or anything. We have no ulterior motives.
No one
This is honestly how we feel about these films, and please leave your comments. Which one is right? Which one is wrong? I know it's going to be 90-10 in favor of Haas. I don't give a shit. Thank you for being brave and bold and telling the truth. Where Stephen Anthony from Dark Cloud Studios knows what he's talking about, and for the second time, I think. What was that movie? Oh, It Feeds, where Haas
you gave a higher score.
I did. That's right. That did happen once before. So right now, jump cut.
Yep. Smash cut. Black screen. Paul. I think it comes right into Paul's face as he is putting on his uniform in the locker room, and he's on the
phone call from his wife about whether or not
he's on the phone with Donna. Donna tells him about Sunday lunch with the father, and she says, "I think you should go to a meeting." He's like, "I'm not going to go to a meeting." She's like, "I feel fine. If I don't feel fine, It's like he goes, I feel fine. I'm not going to drink. If I don't feel fine and I think I'm going to drink, I'll go to a meeting. Very calmly. She says,
Yeah.
"Okay." She says, "Okay. By the way, tell my dad that we can make Sunday because I'm coming home from this convention early." Blah blah blah. He tells the dad. We already touched on that awkward conversation. A very funny performance from Paul or Alden Ehrenreich, um, where he's trying to like fit in with the boss cop dad, and the dad is just not making it easy for him. It's just like
How do
he's
you
like, you can
how do you feel
try.
about yeah? How do you feel about Paul's mustache here? I feel his mustache really creates the character, or
Oh,
creates the
I
it adds
love.
to it.
I'm so glad you brought it up. I love the mustache. This
Mhm.
mustache is awesome.
The mustache. So I rewatched First Blood last night, and the knife actually has its own credit in the billing at the end of the movie,
Oh, really?
which I never noticed before. This is the first time I didn't like turn it off. The mustache, Paul's mustache, should have its own billing in
Oh,
the
yeah.
credits of this movie.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
It's a great mustache. Tom Selleck ain't got shit
Shit.
on Olden Rich.
Z- Ehrenreich. Eh,
Ehrenreich.
eh, Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich.
Yes.
Yes,
Um,
with the mustache.
yes. So he is leaving the police station and he sees. No, he doesn't see her yet. He's in the squad car and he's bored to tears, and he sees a junkie go down an alley. So he pulls up. He puts his lights on. He gets on the megaphone. He sees the junkie doing something, and there's a chase scene.
Yeah.
Chase scene ends. He's got the junkie up against the car. He's putting his gloves on. Is there anything in your pockets that's gonna poke me? I was like,
We got to give credit to Zach here, because this is one of those moments again where he shows and doesn't tell, and he does it very, very beautifully. He doesn't beat you over the head with, cops are these days facing an even more dangerous job, because they go about their business and they're doing their things and they're putting on gloves and they're following protocol and they're asking questions, and still shit happens, and they
yeah,
have to have Narcan in their vehicles, yes, to save other people's lives, but more often than not to save their own lives, because they're going to get poked with shit. So I've never seen a movie that beautifully, subtly just laid into the DNA of the film. I thought this was a great scene, because
oh
this is
yeah,
exactly what happens.
yeah. So what happens when he tackles him? He's got his knee in his back, the way that you do, and
The way you're supposed to.
and
What was that jerk off with George Floyd? What was that jerk off's name? Do you remember?
George Floyd.
No,
Oh,
I believe he was the victim, not
yeah,
the jerk
yeah,
off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Devin something. What was the cop's name that got like 25 years and he was
Sho-
doing those weird fucking doodles?
Chauvin.
That's it. Devin Chauvin, whatever the fuck is
Yeah,
it?
whatever
Fuck
his
him. He
name
doesn't
is.
deserve to be remembered.
Yeah.
But that's how you put your knee on somebody, on their back, not their neck.
Yes. So
Okay.
the back's on the neck, and he's pulling his arms around to cuff him, and he's asking him um, if he's hurting him. Right? He's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Are you okay?" He,
I I I really appreciated his cop skills in this scene.
yeah. So he's got him up against the car now, and he's cuffed, and he's putting his gloves on, and he's like, "I'm going to search you now. Do you have anything that will poke me, will prick me? Do you have any needles? Do you have any weapons?" And the
I love
guy's,
James's answer.
"Go, tell me."
Uh, nope,
No,
nothing.
no. He puts his hands basically right into his pockets, and immediately gets poked. Pulls his hand out, and a needle falls on the floor. And he elbows James in the face so
Yeah,
hard that it knocks
yeah,
him out.
a little bit.
And now he's in his car doing his first aid kit stuff, and then he looks up and he notices his dash cam, which
But
he
not because he's a douchebag cop.
right,
He's a good cop, but because he's a human being, and he just asked you, like, shit, man.
yeah, yeah,
And not that James doesn't have his own motivations, he does, and he was shaped by the criminal justice system the way he was, that never acknowledge or admit anything.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a very organic, well played.
yeah.
Sometimes shit happens because shit happens kind of scene.
So he sees his dash cam, he unplugs it, comes out, grabs him, shakes him awake. He goes, "Look, In the way I see it, you did me wrong. I did you wrong. Let's call it a day. I'm going to uncuff you and leave you here. I never want to see you again. If I see you again, there's going to be problems.
Did he honestly think that this asshole, like people with like lives and determination and ability, very often don't leave their town that they should leave for whatever reason, and just go start over. Did he really think this asshole was gonna like pick up and get on a bus and get the fucking go to a different Dodge? Like,
Yeah. But like the police chief said, he only needed about a month. So as long as this guy didn't come and press charges, in 30 days the cam footage would have been scrubbed and he would have been fine. So like,
no way he was gonna show up in 30 days time.
no, he
He's gonna
wasn't.
avoid the cops for the rest of his
He
life.
yeah, he was never coming back to the. So
Yeah.
he did the right thing from his perspective,
Yeah.
and it probably would have worked out if it wasn't for the information James gleans in a future scene.
So I love this. I'm pretty sure it's not Paul's scene. I'm pretty sure it's James's scene. One of the parts that had me chuckling internally was he's just checking all the car doors.
That's
While he's
James.
on the phone bullshitting either a relative or a
Yeah.
friend.
It sounds
"Oh, I
like
got
his
this
brother.
Job, I need the clothes to get the clothes. I need the money. Send me the money so I can get the job. No, everything is great. And he's just checking doors.
He's trying to open every car door he walks by. It's in the.
It's a
it's
great
in the,
scene,
Yeah.
and eventually he gets lucky. But I love the comedy of the character. I thought that was
Oh
great.
yeah. And that happens. If you don't think that happens, that's happening. That's happening in your town. If it is bigger than us, if it's the size of a small city, it's happening.
More than
if,
500 people.
if you're in Oneonta, New York, that's happening to your car every day. Like lock your doors. Um, so it's completely true though. Unfortunately.
Every once in a while, I used to park my truck in the parking lot, and I don't know if somebody was fucking because nobody knows me here.
Yeah.
I thought somebody was fucking with me, like the gas cap would be open. I'm like, are assholes siphoning fucking gas out of my fucking gas tank? And I never checked my doors before. I don't have anything in there, just Dark Close Studios products. So if you want a tote bag and you need it more than I do, you're welcome to it. If you have the balls to go into somebody's private property for a tote bag or a really old 7-Eleven Replenish energy drink, it's yours. But fuck, good advice, man. Pro tip: lock your doors.
Lock your doors. So we'll be wrapping up Paul here in a second. He goes straight to the police chief, dad-in-law, and his dad tells him the gist: 30 days. Don't worry about it. Go get that thing cleaned up. If he does show up, you're going to be in a world of shit. And basically says you're on your own.
He cleans it up for him, but fuck, like an extension of what we were talking about before. I knew my daughter was dating an asshole. I
Right.
knew you were a twat.
Yeah.
I knew you were a fucking nitwit. And now I have my proof. And now you're making my life more difficult. Now you're making me wait 30 days. You think you have to wait 30 days? Asshole, I have to wait 30 days with you, you fucking dummy.
Yep.
Can you maybe like not make my life harder and more difficult? For just, I don't know, a year.
And he's going to get another one of these from the father in a second. But it's not through dialogue. It's just a look.
When he walks by his window.
Yeah, that happens. That happens in another minute. So he comes out. The dad says, "Get that finger taken care of." He comes out of the police station again. This time with his finger in a bandage. This is where he sees Justine. He looks at his phone. She texts the word "Hey." It smash cuts to them fucking in her bed, and then smash cuts to I think he's at home already. He's just getting home and he sees Donna's purse on the counter and his eyes widen because deep down I do think Paul is actually kind of a good guy, even though he did make some serious mistakes.
Good guy.
Because and I'll tell you why I think he's a good guy, because Donna catches him right now deer in headlights and he doesn't even try to lie.
He's a good guy. He's just a little incompetent, a little, but he does do his best. He's telling a junkie, like, I don't want to see you anymore. That's just something a good guy would do.
Right.
I don't think he's a bad guy whatsoever. I just think he's a dummy. Well, when he has a bandage on his finger, I don't know if it's from his chapter or James's chapter. at a certain point, we get a vantage point of him asking, "Do you have HIV?"
Yeah.
And James is like, "What?"
That's in
He's like, "Do you have
James.
HIV, hepatitis, anything like that?" And for a guy who didn't have medical coverage for 50 years of his life, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
like,
think
"Well, I
so.
don't think so. Yeah,
Love that.
yeah. Um, so this is where Donna goes, oh, Paul, just like so disappointed. We cut back to Paul. He's walking through the police station again, and this time he walks past the dad's office. They get the look, the knowing glance that he's like, oh,
Because Donna talked to her dad. Is that what
yeah, yeah, okay. So you all,
we know without it being shown what
yeah,
happened?
you did the thing yesterday with the poke, and now you've
Now you
slept with
fucked up your
you
marriage.
slept with somebody else. You've cheated on my daughter, you piece of shit.
That's
Um,
it.
he gets outside the police station, and Paul is just having the shittiest 2 days of his life. And who walks around the corner but poor James? And
So
he's
these two are a great duo. So if Justine and Archer are a duo,
yeah, these are the
Paul and
other.
James are just a great
Yeah,
duo.
they're the
They're
other duo,
fantastic.
and they're definitely
Yeah,
a duo as
yeah.
we're about to see. So, smash cut, black screen, James. James is in his tent. It's raining. He's trying to light some meth, and he just can't do it. There's not enough left. He's
There's
scraping
just
it.
not enough.
There's not there. There's like a ton of syringes next to him. Probably because that shit's free, right? Narcan.
So I don't want to speak because I can't speak intelligently about it.
Right.
I don't know if Narcan is like, there's always that thing. Why is insulin $750, but Narcan is $7 or
Yeah.
$2 are free? That's because, just to be super, super clear, your insulin manufacturer is a money hoarding scumbag, and Narcan, like we just discussed, more often than not, is used for police officers or on police officers by police officers, rather than victims of addiction. That is a medical condition, not something to be stigmatized. Thank you for being good woke, awesome woke, whatever the term is,
Yep.
and understanding that it's a motherfucker. Let's not throw stones in glass houses, people.
Yeah. So yeah. Narcan does come in a syringe, and we can assume that's what it is, since he's trying to smoke meth and he's not just shooting up whatever he's got in these syringes. So next we see him on the phone, and I think he's talking to his brother. He's trying to get money. He's got a job. He starts off the conversation. Hey, guess what? I got a job.
It's
Um,
got a job.
the problem is I just need new clothes for the job. I can't
Yeah.
do the job without new clothes. I need the clothes to do the job, to do the job to get the money, I need the money to pay mom back. And as he's walking by,
That's when you know he's a piece of shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's having this conversation. He's trying to open every single door. One of them finally opens. He finds a little kid. He's immediately got this little kid's backpack. He finds
I
a
love that scene.
tablet, headphones, iPod. Goes straight to the. He's doing a little dance out in front of the pawn shop.
Straight
Waiting
to
for
the
him to
pawn
open.
shop where he reminds me of Johnny Lawrence trying to like peddle his old Playboy with like Lisa Boyle in it or some shit.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
guy in Cobra Kai. I really like that scene. The guy's like, yeah, no, nothing. He's like $50,
10,
20 bucks,
20,
10
10
bucks.
bucks. Five.
Five.
He goes 20, 10, 5 without a word from the guy at the cashier. If you know anything about buying stuff from Chunkies, that is extremely realistic. Um,
Have you ever had an experience where somebody tried to use Good Games in Oneonta, New York as a pawn shop?
absolutely, absolutely.
Have you ever gotten a Magic the Gathering collection way cheaper than you should have?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did you buy it with zero fucking scruples?
Oh
I
yeah,
remember one time you got like I want to say you got like it was some good shit. It was like a Force of Will and maybe a Mana Crypt and some other shit.
yeah,
Like a $5,000, $10,000 collection for like hundreds of dollars.
yeah, yeah, man.
Not a,
You can. All right, meth leaves scars on people's faces, and they bring in
it
stuff.
does.
They bring in stuff, and it's questionable whether it was actually theirs or if it was stolen. And
Yeah.
if it was stolen, you can look someone in the face and say $20, and they'll give it to you.
That's insane.
Um,
And if it's one of your customers that you know just recently lost shit, you could do something awesome and return it to them.
oh, absolutely. No, we've definitely done that before.
I know you have.
Yeah, we bought a Switch that we knew was stolen and gave it back to the person who it was stolen from. We're not scumbags. I mean, I'll buy the stuff, but you know.
We're capitalists, but we're not dickheads.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, James. He gets no money for the stuff, so now he's wandering around again. This is where he's trying to pry the the piece of plywood over a window and look in, and then he hears the bloop bloop and looks down, and there's Paul yelling at him. Chase ensues. Then it shows him coming to from the knockout punch.
Yeah.
And then he is wandering around and stumbles upon Alex's house. And is because he sees five newspapers in the blue bag on the front lawn, and he knows that that's a sign that no one's home.
Damn, you're good. Shit, I didn't catch that, and I'm like, what is Haas talking about? Five what? Like, I thought you were going to say like reward posters because I remember him like seeing one before, and before he puts it together, like, okay, this is where I can make money. Damn.
Five newspapers sitting in the front yard in their little blue baggies that protects them from water.
I didn't know that either. I just thought, I don't know.
That's all right. You know, this is a learning podcast.
Yes, I just played the video game Paperboy where you threw newspapers into people's mailboxes, but I might have been aiming for the windows.
Okay.
This is when Grand Theft Auto was a thing.
Right. Way out. Yeah. Paperboy was a lot of fun. So the doors are locked. He climbs up the lattice. He comes in a window. The room is full of junk, and it looks kind of weird. He comes out. He sees a light under a door. He tries to open that door. It's locked. Good thing he didn't kick that door in, because we know what's behind it. He pulls up.
It's a juxtaposition. This scene is great because he does all the things we wanted Justine to do early on when she just gets out of there. So this is one of the benefits of the storytelling, right? So the story gets advanced and we get to see it, but we see it from a different person's point of view and their reactions. The dumb fuck goes in the house.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out with these two corpses.
Yeah.
And he's cool with it. He's just getting all the silver, just dumping it down
One thing
into a pillowcase. I'm like, why is he grabbing a pillowcase? Which I thought I had criminal cred. I guess I don't. He's grabbing a pillowcase. I'm like, because this is just this is his method. This is what he does.
Yeah.
It's kind of genius. He knows how to go about whatever he's got to do at this point, and he's content to hang out with these two creepy fucks.
Yeah.
On the couch.
Well, that's the great thing about this performance and or the writing and or the directing through James's sequence is that his junkie behavior is seamless. This character is a pro. He is not an amateur. I mean, he's a bumbling idiot, but that's because he's a drug addict. But he's done this before. He checks the doors. He goes to the pawn shop. He pulls the pillowcase off the pillow and uses it as his
I love that,
his booty sack.
Yeah.
And he said, he finds a RetroCon which runs like Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, and he goes through the DVDs and he stops at one and he goes, "Oh, Willow." It's like, what a fucking awesome Easter egg kind of reference. Yeah, Zach Kreger, we love Willow too. We're all the same age, by the way, and we all grew up the same, and that's probably why I relate to your shit, as well as I do. He goes to
and I just want to say that addicts are people too. It took me a while to learn that. I remember I was driving somebody, and she was using apple juice instead of urine to get urine tested. I'm amazed it worked as many times as it fucking did. And I remember she called up a friend, and her friend was supposed to give her clean urine, and it was dirty. And she was like, hey, asshole, I'm going to get kicked off the program now. Now I'm fucked. I'm not going to have, my prescription drug that's going to make me okay. And she was using it, I think it came up in this movie, like when you talk about the Narcan to the syringe, we're going to use this on this day, we're going to use what we want on the other day, and this is how I'm going to get through life. And she was like, she got pissed, and she's like, bitch, now I'm going to get sick. They have their own perspective and their own way of getting through life and their own trials and tribulations. And I guess if there's an empowering silver lining to this, is like, understand that you matter, understand that you're here for a reason, and you don't have to punish yourself, and you don't have to go through life this way. And I think James, if anything, lets us see that we are people
Yeah.
going through this shit. We're all going through something. We're all got some kind of cross to bear, or albatross on our balls.
Right.
And we don't have we can get rid of the albatross whenever we want. And
Yeah.
so
How
you're there,
often? How often do we get
get
to?
to it.
How often do we get to POV, like through the eyes of a user, right?
Yeah.
Um, like the last time it was popularized, I think it was fucking like Train Spotting, or that
I imagine The Wire did it also. I didn't
the
watch that show.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
Probably the two times that really stick out in my mind. Um,
But he does it, and again, to your point of how Zach is telling the story is getting forwarded at the same time through a different lens. So the story is moving forward very powerfully, and we need to learn as an audience what we need to learn through a very humanizing and comedically powerful performance here.
oh yeah. What I like here too is another subtle nod to him being a pro, is that he is dumping the china, the silver, right, the guest silver, into the knapsack, and then he opens all the kitchen drawers, and one of the drawers is full of silverware in a silverware separator that he doesn't touch. He just keeps moving on. So he even knows the difference between the silver and the basic
Damn.
silverware that everybody uses.
Damn.
Just
Details that you catch, man.
you know, all this stuff is important. Like, it may seem mundane to, I think, a lot of people who just want to watch a movie and enjoy a movie or whatever. But
But it makes people like you and me enjoy the movie more.
more. It makes me enjoy it more, absolutely. And it also, I have to believe that was written for a reason. Like Zach, as an artist, wrote that he pulled the silver from the china cabinet, and then he opens all the drawers, and he even wrote one drawer is full of mundane silverware. Like,
I'm willing to bet on it.
yeah,
I would bet on it.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
uh, he is going to, after he gets his sack filled with some goodies, he's going to turn and he's going to find, or no, actually, this happens when he finds the video game console. He turns to see a man and a woman in a zombie-like rigor mortis state, who they seem a little bit more alive now than when we saw them through Justine's eyes, are just sitting on the couch, staring blankly straight ahead, just sitting. He's going to do his thieving. He's going to come around to the other side of the couch, and we're going to see them get up and start to slowly walk towards him, and he is going to bolt out of that front door and run like hell.
Mm-hmm.
Then, oh no, I'm sorry. Whew, I skipped something. Before that happens, he goes into the basement. He turns the light on. He goes a few steps down.
That's kind of important.
He sees all these shapes, and he turns the light on, and it is 17 school children. And they all turn and look at him at the exact same time. And that's when he starts to run back up the stairs and slam the door. And that's when he hears a thud upstairs. And after the thud upstairs, where he looks at the ceiling, that's when the man and woman get up off the couch and start to walk towards him, and that's when he bolts.
And here's where I will give credit to the storytelling format. If this was told in a more linear, traditional style, where we get like the whole scene, at once, if a junkie came up, that, oh yeah, sure, coincidentally ran into the main character earlier on, and would have been like, really, you're the fuck up that finds, the kids in the basement.
Yeah.
It would not have been great. It would kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So this being told the way it was, which given this guy just as much of a character and gravity to his history, this works here.
What I love about this next smash cut, which once again I love all these hard cuts, he's on the phone again. This time with the police. Hey,
So how do I
so,
get this $50,000 exactly?
do you guys like? Can you guys like meet me? Because I can't. I don't want to come to the police station. Police, they freak me out a little. I'm a little weird like that. It's like, can you just meet me? Can you bring me the cash? Hello, hello. so then, and the
So
next,
good.
so the next scene, he's walking around the corner, and he comes face to face with Paul, and Paul yells, "Hey, what did I fucking tell you?" Boom. All right.
The love affair continues.
Their love affair continues. He runs and runs and runs and runs, and he's in his. Oh no, he's not. He runs and runs and runs and runs and runs, and he turns the corner in a forest, and what does he see? He sees the same clown-like visage from the dream, and the dream, except this time it's taken more of a real form, and we see that it's like a person, maybe even
Yeah.
a woman. It's not a clown.
Yeah.
It's like clown-ish makeup. It's
Yeah.
definitely not a clown at all. Maybe we thought it was. Maybe we didn't. And then he's like, what the fuck? He runs into his tent. He zips it up and he goes, "That's not real. That's not real." It's like
So this scene, I remember this scene like it was good and it fucked me up in the good way, the way I want a horror movie to fuck me up. He's getting in the tent and I'm like, really, idiot? You're running into the haunted house? Like,
yeah, yeah,
it's a tent.
yeah.
But
It
for him,
protects
it's
it
tent.
protects you from nothing. But yeah,
Right.
for him, it's his
But
safe
it's his
space.
sanctuary.
It's his safe space.
It
Yeah,
does protect him
Yeah.
from the rain, the elements, whatever.
yeah,
Offers him some privacy,
It's-
stairs, whatever, in his
yeah.
Hutville that he lives in.
It's where all his stuff
Makes
is.
sense
You know.
for him. Really, really great scene here.
So we've got some twigs snapping, and there's someone outside the tent, and we can assume that maybe it's the clown lady, but we zip, 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 zip. The guy, James, grabs 3 syringes, and he's ready, and a head pops in, and he stabs Paul right in the face with 3 syringes. And we already know Paul is so super paranoid about this shit, and he freaks out.
So miraculously, I didn't contract your STD before, and now my odds just increased so much.
He pulls him out of the tent. He throws him into the back seat, which we know is locked, and you can only open the doors from the outside. He gets.
Right. I love that they didn't. I love that they didn't even show that. They just trusted you to know that.
Yeah.
So now, for me, the tension is building at this scene when
Yeah.
Paul goes in the house. He's not just fucked out of his money. He's fucked out of his money, but now he's fucked out of his freedom and his security. Like, there's no way to get out of here.
Right.
And so now I'm starting to wonder. Okay, how does James get out of this?
Right. So he throws him in the back. He's cleaning up his thing. This is where the funny "Do you have AIDS?" conversation is. And he unplugged his camera first this time, and you think James is going to kill this guy and disappear the body in the woods, right? Like that's what he has to do at this point, and
Right.
he has that demeanor.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna miss him.
Yeah, and you feel that that's coming, but he has James has an ace up his sleeve. Wait! I know where the kids are.
Yeah.
Paul drives him to the house. Before he gets out of the car, James goes, "Hey, am I still gonna get that reward money?" To which Paul doesn't even answer, just stares at him like he's an idiot, and gets out of the car.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, he goes to the front door, knocks on the door, and the door opens for the first time, and it opens like it always does, like ghost-like.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he goes inside, and I do believe the door closes. It might actually not close. Yes, it does close. Cut to night. James is still in the back of the car, right where it is.
Yeah.
The
And the
house
tension
is
just
and
builds.
you're like, what the fuck? And James is screaming, "Help me, help me, help me, get me out of this car." And then the door opens, and he goes, "Oh, finally." And it's Paul. And
Yeah.
Paul comes out robotically, angrily, quickly, walks fast straight to the police car, opens the back door, pulls James out, and drags him into the house. Smash
Okay.
cut.
Time out.
Yep.
So all the kids are weaponized. Fair enough to say at this point. If spoiler-free territory if you haven't caught on to that. And triangle format. Marcus shows up hunting Justine,
Triangle format.
triangle run format. Paul comes out of the house.
No triangle. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, please.
Different spell. And I'll tell you why. Because he's not killing James. He's collecting James and bringing him back into the house. Just like the woman was cutting the hair and bringing the hair back into the house. It is not the same spell. We are dealing with.
Okay.
We are dealing with
This
a.
man has played Dungeons and Dragons before.
That is it. We are dealing with a witch who can do more than just one trick. In fact, in Alex's scene, she says, "I can make them hurt each other. I can make them kill each other. I can make them
Yeah.
eat each other if I
Yeah.
want to."
Yeah. That scene. I know we're jumping ahead. That fucked me up.
That seems
and
nuts.
Completely shifted Alex, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this fucking kid has gone through some shit.
Yeah. Oh
Way
yeah.
worse than Justine or Archer.
Yeah.
And fuck Paul and James. Like, they haven't gone through shit compared to Alex.
No.
I don't think anybody has. I think he's the unsung hero
So
of this movie. A fantastic performance by the actor that played him.
So we smash cut here when they disappear into the doorway to a black screen, and Marcus's name comes across the screen. Now,
Oh, does he? Sorry, I didn't even realize that. I knew the cut. I know there's a supermarket. I recognize the conversation from the phone call. We're gonna get to the cereal. I just, God, I love that my brain works the way that it does, but I know that it doesn't work the way everyone else's brain works. I'm so fucking hyper focused on the 6 hot dogs, and I'm like, your husband is an enabler that's feeding you 6 hot dogs, and the beautiful human had to tell me, Steven, not all 6 hot dogs were for him. They were sharing.
They were going to share that platter.
How the fuck you know? He is 2/3 of their calories. His husband is only 1/3 of their calories.
Yeah.
How do you know it wasn't a 2-to-4 split?
Yeah, maybe it was 2 and 4. Even if it was 2 and 4, 3 and 3, who cares?
Because 2 people should not, in any fucking configuration, be splitting 6 hot dogs. 4 hot dogs. 2 for you, 2 for me. Were they eating 3 hot dogs each, Nate? Come on, be honest. Or was it 4 and 2?
It was probably 4 and 2, based on superficial casting.
I rest
In
my
a
case.
perfect world, it was 3 and 3. All right. So it smash cuts to Marcus, and they're in the supermarket, and we get the other side of the conversation that Justine had during her chapter on the phone with Marcus, where Marcus is saying, "Stay away from Alex. He's been through enough." She says, "You have to go to the house. You have to do an inspection. It's your duty."
Yes.
She threatens CPS, and she's like, "Come on, you don't want to do that." She's like, "Well, I can. If you don't, I can call CPS if you don't handle this."
And this is almost not a callback, but very similar to Bring Her Back, where there's an official complaint lodged, an investigation has to take place. And I have to give another reluctant nod to Zach's storytelling here when we see and hear Justine giving it to Marcus. We don't know where Marcus is. We don't know what he's doing. We just have her vantage point. So now we see it from his vantage point, and I think the conversation goes a little bit longer here. So this is going to prompt him. This does prompt him to do an investigation, does it not?
It does. He says, "I will get them to come into my office."
And this is what gets her to touch up the fork marks.
Yes.
On the dad's face.
Yes.
I was like, fuck.
Yes.
And he doesn't talk. He just sits there.
Right.
And somehow it's believable that it can happen. Great scene.
Yeah.
When this comes up 5 minutes from now.
So it's important to note now that the chapters are much shorter. James's chapter was pretty short and fast, and Marcus's is also very short and fast, and Alex's is about to come up and slow things down, but it's going to segue right into the climax and literally keep you on the edge of your seat for probably about 15 minutes straight all the way to the end. You could
When that happens, and if we had a different marker, I'm not going to say it again, just rewind what I said 20 minutes ago. Man, the last 15, 20 minutes of this movie are so good.
So you could kind of say this is a slow burn, but because of the way the chapters were done, at the end of every chapter is gonna ramp you up real quick and then bring you back down. Um,
If you have Haas's brain pan and neurology, if you have Steven's neurology, you're gonna feel ice picks poking you in the balls in the movie theater.
right. So they resolve that with Justine over the phone. He calls. No, he doesn't. It goes straight to him in the office. His secretary comes in. Your 2 o'clock is here, and she's given him a look like she wants him to ask a question, and
Mm-hmm.
like how small town folk like to gossip about people. This is how I felt here. Is she
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have a quick little "this is a fucking weirdo" conversation, but he didn't let her. He just looks at her and goes, "We'll send her in."
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So we are now introduced to Aunt Gladys. This is the clown figure. It is an old woman with ridiculous makeup and a ridiculous red wig.
Yeah,
And
the
yeah,
wig. Yeah, the wig should be its own character along with the mustache.
yeah,
Holy shit.
and she's completely like neurotic, insane, overbearing, all sorts of things. So you could say at this point, quirky Aunt
Quirky is
Gladys
the minimum.
is
The
the
the creepy
yeah,
smile.
creepy, quirky. She
Fuck.
sits down next to a trophy case of ribbons, and right next to her, immediately to her right, is a blue ribbon. Um, it's important to note that for later.
Okay.
Um,
I'll
then
find out along with everybody else.
then they have a conversation about how Alex's parents are sick, and she's watching him, and he goes, "Oh, but you're not his legal guardian." She
Legal
says,
guardian.
"No." She's like, "Well, legally, I have to speak with his guardian. I have to speak with his
Yeah.
parents." She
And
says,
this is
"What?"
where that CPS investigation
Yeah.
that Justine triggered is so important.
Yes, because he also mentioned CPS, which is what puts Gladys on high alert. If
Hmm.
he didn't say that, she might not have done what she does next, and this is kind of the dominoes falling, and also to great effect of the way the chapters are laid out as the things get revealed to us. Zach kind of slow rolling everything to the final chapter.
Yeah.
Um, so she says that they're sick. He says, "Oh, what's wrong?" It's like, "Oh, they've just come down with a bit of consumption." To which he says, "I'm sorry. Isn't that what they got on the Oregon Trail?" Like, how old is Gladys? Like, so Gladys is sick, and we're gonna find that out in a minute. How old is this witch? Oh
Right.
my God! Right? There's
Right.
so much witchcraft going on in the final chapter that it's hard to not hard to pull it apart and piece it together, but like it's more than just the way she summoned those kids to the house, you know?
Yeah. It's
Um,
not cheesy at all. It's not. What this movie does is, it tells the time span 4 or 5 days in a very interesting way that keeps each moment like hyper focused and therefore more interesting. It's like it would be very, very cheap, and it would be a disservice to say, a witch takes control of 17 kids. Nobody would give a shit. Nobody shows up. Uh, the way this movie was made and told enables the marketing, which I felt, this is my thing, I felt hoodwinked and I wanted a more traditional story being told. But they got the story, they told it the way they wanted to tell it, and they were able to market it that way, the way they were able to market it. And so in this scene, yeah, how old is this witch that can do these things? It's something that we would ask for in a lesser movie.
right.
Like, how many times have I bitched on this podcast? I want to see this. I want to see a delving into the detail, and Zach gives us in this movie. So even though I did not enjoy it, I will absolutely give him credit for creating it and giving us what we as audiences want and what audiences should be trusted to be able to receive. We do not need recycled, rehashed shit from the 80s told for the upteenth fucking time
Yeah.
on a franchise that is being beaten to fucking death. Weapons is an awesome original story told in a bold, powerful way that I may not have enjoyed, but audiences everywhere are enjoying it, including Hosferatu.
That's right. So we're gonna go back to Marcus's home, where, as we've said a few times, his husband is preparing him 6 hot dogs, or preparing them 6 hot dogs. He's watching a documentary, which is very interesting. So here's another subtle detail that you'll only catch if you've seen it twice. At the very beginning, Justine does have a snippet of a scene where she's teaching the class. She's teaching the class about parasites, and the example that's given is a tapeworm. And she goes, "Oh, a tapeworm's one of the gross ones that eats your food," and blah blah blah. Now here, they're watching a nature documentary about the cordyceps fungus that can take over and mind control an ant, and then it even grows like
Yep.
some fungus. So yeah,
Even
so
I paid attention to that. I was like, okay, this is in service of the narrative.
yeah. So it's not like it doesn't matter to the story. It's kind of a cute nod to what the witch is doing to these people, and it's kind of like it's just a cool just addition,
Yeah,
call it
nice little Easter egg.
yeah, call it an Easter egg or set dressing. It was just a nice touch.
Mm.
So they're watching, and then frantically the doorbell is getting rung, and the door's getting knocked on, and they answer the door, and it is Gladys, and she is out of breath. And uh, Marcus says this is inappropriate. He tries to say this is inappropriate. He definitely says we just sat down. Like how
I
great.
love this scene. Can I get a bowl of water?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh yeah. So she's like, I just need some water. I'm gonna pass out. And then Marcus says no. Marcus has firm boundaries
Yeah,
as a professional in the community.
yeah, and he has to
But
because he has to be because he bitched, complained, noted that Justine acted inappropriately driving a child home.
yeah,
Here, he is under the constraints of his own philosophy and his own policy,
yeah,
and something inappropriate is about to happen, and so she's calling on etiquette, and
yeah,
he's falling on policy and procedure,
yeah.
and which one's right, which one's wrong, and all the nuance in there makes this just a really really cool scene, just a very nuanced, well written scene.
So the husband, who's the is the pushover,
Mm-hmm.
the big heart in this marriage, and invites her in, and they go into the kitchen, where Marcus is about to pour a glass of water, and she says, "No, can I have it in a bowl?" She goes, "I know it's weird. I just own it. I don't explain it anymore. I'm sorry." And he goes, "One bowl of water."
And that's one of the details where I want more,
Yeah.
and here we get it in
Here we
this
get
film.
it. Um, so sh- uh, she she gets close to the husband. She clips his hair. He's like, "Did you just cut my hair?" He starts to freak out. Marcus, she just cut my hair. She rings the bell. Marcus
Yeah,
stiffens. Or no, sorry. She pulls out the twig
yeah,
with a blue ribbon wrapped around it,
yeah.
and she cuts her finger. And Marcus looks at it and goes, "Is that my ribbon?"
Mm.
And the husband's freaking out about the hair being cut, and then
They need something from each person, like a personal item, which is
yep,
going to come up relevant in the next chapter. Now I know what you meant by the blue ribbon.
she rings the bell, which has a 6 on it and a triangle um, next to the 6, a small one. She rings the bell, and he lunges on his husband, chokes him. The husband chokes him back, so the natural response to that is to headbutt his husband's head into mush.
Everybody who gets weaponized in this movie, everyone, and I'm not going to say who else is going to get weaponized because that's a really cool twist that I thought happened in the movie. Everybody did it so well, just so well. Just I am
Oh
now
yeah.
mindful. I'm now mindless vengeance.
Yep.
I loved it.
Yeah. Eyes bulging out of his head, his face covered in blood. She drops. When she breaks the stick is when he attacks. Then she drops the stick in the water. As soon as it hits the water, he doesn't snap out of the possession. He snaps out of the killing mode, and
Mm,
he awaits new orders. To which she picks up half of the stick, because the other half, well, one is still now a new stick essentially, and she wraps the golden lock she pulled out of her purse around it, and we know what that is.
right. That's Justine's
That's
hair,
Justine's
and
hair. Yep.
he at this point I'm just enjoying or less than enjoying the movie, and Haas is paying attention and reverse engineering how shit actually gets done
Yep.
in this movie's ethos,
So
world.
she breaks that in half. He runs out the door, and she so calmly, reacting to nothing that happened, just packs up her bag,
Yep.
and leaves. And now we,
Almost like she's like clocking out after a successful
yeah,
day's work.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
okay, Barb, see you Monday,
yeah.
kind of
So
thing.
now we get a lot of triangle arms running of Marcus, running through this, running through that, running through a baseball game where a guy goes, "What the fuck?" Because he's covered in his face is covered in blood. His eyes are bulging out of his head. He's running and
And
running
we
and
didn't know
running.
why. And again, another reluctant nod. We didn't know why his face had blood on it when he ran when
When
we
he,
first saw him running after Justine. Now we know it's
that's right.
because he just killed his husband.
We see
That
him.
sucked.
We see him get to the gas station parking lot. We see Justine and Archer having the conversation from earlier. She says Marcus as Marcus barrels through Archer, breaks the the gas line again, and jumps right on her. And except this time we get the full version. So Archer grabs him, gets headbutted. She crawls under the car. He crawls under the car. Archer gets up. She runs past Archer. Archer gets in his way. He barrels through Archer again. She goes into the gas station. He goes into the gas station. They're running around each other. She's about to get him, or he's about to get Justine because she's at the locked door in the back. Archer tackles him into a glass window with
I was
with
going to
her,
say like a cold case,
yeah,
right?
where all the drinks are. Yep.
Yep.
She runs back out. The guy who owns the place is like, get the fuck out of here. She's like, hey, fucking help me. She screams at him. Like, how has she not called 911? How has someone not called 911? All right, we get outside. All right, how does this end? This ends with, okay, Archer punches him a couple times. It hurts his hand like hell. Um, she's right. She gets into the car and drives away. He's chasing her car. Archer gets in his truck, drives after.
I love that.
She goes.
It's one of those scenes where in this movie the title is so relevant, right?
Right.
So, I got to give a nod here where if I didn't like Bring Her Back because I thought it was just a dopey fucking title, and like Control Freak, which I loved, but with a dopey fucking title. First of all, Weapons is an awesome title,
Yep.
and so it does have that very marketable, catchy title, but it makes sense. And here's where we see it being shown, told, given to the audience. You are being weaponized. You are a weapon, and here's where we see it just chasing after a car. Nobody in their right fucking mind, which is why it's an awesome scene in Lethal Weapon 2 when Mel Gibson goes after their car on foot, because it's unrealistic and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But here, it's realistic here, and it's not bullshit here, and it
Right.
makes sense here. So good.
Yeah. So she drives her car through a green light, which turns red, and Marcus tries to run through a red light and gets T-boned.
So good.
Brains everywhere. Woman screaming. Archer checks it out and smash cut. Black screen. Alex.
Haas loves the smash cuts.
I do. I do. They're jarring, but like they are very purposeful. And this movie didn't overuse them, or like I never felt like I was sick of it, and I loved it every time.
Because there's, what'd you say, six? So there's
6 chapters, yeah.
so there's 6 chapters. So you only have to use it 6 times. I get, yeah, it works.
Yeah. So Alex is going to school, a regular day of school. He gets a little bullied by
Archer's son,
Matthew, Archer's son. Yep. But not big time bullied, just a little bullied. And then he
Which
gets.
I thought at this point I was like, okay, he reluctantly has his aunt living with him, and he's going to somehow find out about what she can do. I thought in a lesser, Zach did not do this. Not that I'm a lesser writer; I'm an amazing fucking writer. But a lesser writer would have written, "Oh, I'm going to go to my aunt and ask her to do a favor for me." That's where I thought the movie was going. Very, very glad I didn't. And instead, it does something way darker, and Alex becomes a victim, and we get to see that unfold.
Right. So he gets picked up by his dad, and we get to see their relationship. He's a cool dad. He's like a super nice.
And it establishes their routine. He comes out of school, the dad is there.
Yeah, super cool, nice dad. And he says, "Does Aunt Gladys have to come live with us?" and the father explains why, that she
Yeah,
has no
family's important,
family's important.
which is bullshit, by the way.
She has no family. They get home. We get the mom. The mom's like, "Hey, I want a clean house. That means your room." He's like, "But Aunt Gladys isn't going to go into my room." She's like, "I want a clean house. Your room is in my house. Go clean your
I
room."
thought that was a great line.
Yeah,
I
great
disagree
line.
with Family Matters. I think that's bullshit, but I like the mom's logic. It
Yeah,
made point.
yeah.
Yeah, made sense.
Um, then we go to school again, and this time uh, the father says, "I'll pick you up at 2." And then we get this is where we get the parasite conversation from Justine, and
Mm-hmm.
pencils down. Oh no, pencils down. They're doing a test, and Matthew throws his pencil at Alex,
Mm-hmm.
hits him in the head, and she goes, "Matthew," and Matthew says, "What? You said pencils down," and she says, "Get your bag and go out. Get out of here." And he reluctantly. It was just a joke.
What I was on guard for in this scene, I was like, okay, Justine doesn't have like a super awesome relationship with Alex, because if they did, she would have known what's up. She would have been able to talk to him a little bit easier. She wouldn't have had to do the detective work that she earlier did. It was another acknowledgement of Julia Garner's performance here. It was just the right amount of familiarity with Alex. It was more than, okay, I know you get bullied every day. I have to watch out for this kid that's targeting you. Um, but it wasn't like, I'm super comfortable with you. It was just to the point where it made what was seen before bullshit.
Right.
So very nicely done here.
So, so he goes at 2 o'clock. He's out front. He's waiting. There's no car there to pick him up. He's waiting, and he walks home. And
Starts his long walk
he
home.
comes in the door, and his mom and dad are sitting at the table with Gladys.
Yeah.
She says that's okay. They're just resting. He freaks out a little bit. He yells at Gladys. He throws some water on his dad. She says, "Alex, no dinner for you. Go up to bed. Take the bus to school in the morning." We fast forward through another day of school. He come. Oh no, I'm sorry. We go right to the next morning is when it happens.
Yeah, but there's some. Does he feed the mom and dad soup yet? And then
No,
the following day they start shopping for soup.
that's right after what's about to happen. So, um, sorry, lots of interruptions today.
No. What's going on? What's going on? This podcast is running on a really long time. I think we got to be somewhere around
We're at 2 hours and
hours.
20 minutes. This is our longest episode yet.
Great.
So we are. So in the morning, he wakes up. He comes downstairs. There are his parents, and there is Aunt Gladys. And now Aunt Gladys has stripped down a little of her look, and
Her public. She doesn't have to put on her
Yeah.
public persona
Yeah.
appearance.
She looks a little more plain, a little more like a hippie maybe is like her style, or like straight out of the 70s. Um, and she has Alex sit, and he sits, and she explains to him some things. She says, "You have to promise that you don't talk about me or your parents to anyone." And
This is not bring her back level uncomfortable, but it's bring her back style uncomfortable. It's this is where there's layers of horror to this movie, and this is definitely one of them.
yeah.
Really creepy.
So he doesn't quite understand. She doesn't think she's getting through to him. They pick up forks, and they start stabbing themselves in the face with these forks.
Yeah,
And
which really brings home the weaponization,
yeah,
lack of freedom, lack of whatever, just
total
the
control.
complete dominance of the weaponization process.
Alex obviously freaks out. They stop. She says, "I can make them do whatever I want. I can make them hurt each other. I can make them kill each other. I can make them eat each other if I want to." It's like,
That's fucked
you need to promise that you will not speak about me or your parents to anyone, and if you break your promise, I will know. And
So as dark and up and creepy as that is, it's necessary for the telling of the story, where we get Justine as one suspect and Alex as another at the very beginning of the film, and we get to Opus. Our attention is focused on Justine, and Alex, because he is the answer, is saved until the last chapter. Why the fuck is this kid not saying anything, even through Paul or even James's point of view, we would have come across it for some reason in any other normal circumstance. We need this extraordinary circumstance to justify why he hasn't said anything in any of the iterations thus far.
Right.
So it's disturbing to watch, and it's really, really scary, but it's necessary, and it unfolds beautifully.
Right. So during this, you're also going to get to see the other side of some of the other chapters. So he's going to come home from school. She tells him to feed the parents soup, and then you're going to go shopping for more soup. So he's feeding the parents soup. He shops for more soup. It's kind of it's kind of montage pacing, but it's not really a montage. Um,
Right, but I liked it.
yeah, no, it was good. And then it goes to we know that time is progressing, and we know that in Marcus's chapter he made an appointment. So now we have them getting ready for the appointment. Well, no, we don't have that yet. So he'll come home. He'll go upstairs. He'll open her door. She's on the floor with a puke bucket. She looks like shit. She's bald. She's like I thought your parents would help me get better. They're
She
not.
has a couple strands of hair, and here we're finding out from her world, from her point of view,
Yeah.
shit ain't working.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Something's awry, and Alex sees his power here.
Right.
He's like, okay, he sees his leverage. I got leverage over you, bitch.
Right.
If I do what you want, you're gonna give me what I want, which is you getting the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. She lies like the creepy. No, she's not a pedophile, but she lies like a creepy pedophile aunt here. Yeah, I'll give you what you want. I'll go away.
Yes.
Did she mean it? Was she telling the truth, or was she lying to this kid to get what she wants?
She's lying to this kid to get what she wants, and I think he knows it, and I think he has to find his own way out, and which is why he's always looking, and why he does find it eventually.
Because, and she gives it to him. The great silent,
right,
nuanced answer. Watch me, Alex.
Watch me, Alex. Yes, she teaches him how to defeat her in the end, which is the ultimate fallacy of the Bond villain, and we love it.
I love it. If you get the last 20 minutes of the movie, and just give me that 9, possibly a 10.
Oh my god, the ending is everything. So
it's everything.
So she says, "Your parents. I thought your parents would help me. They're not working." So now, from the paranormal witch side of things, okay, she is like drawing on the life force of these people in some way,
and even just in that sentence, your parents aren't helping me. She's indoctrinating him how to become a witch.
Right.
I really hope they wait 50 years and use the exact same actor for the sequel. Like, fuck, that's what I want to see for the sequel.
Well, yeah, I mean, Alex is going to grow up a totally fucked up kid into witchcraft.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's done.
Absolutely.
You didn't make it.
He understands his power in 3rd grade, which I guess is what, 9 years old. So.
Can we get who did Castaway? Was that Bob Zemeckis?
Possibly. Either Zemeckis or Schumacher.
I think it was Zemeckis that did Back to the Future, did Castaway, and they had the patience to wait a year. Can we film this kid at what is he now? 8, 9, 10?
Yeah.
3rd grade?
10,
whatever that is. I want him filmed at 15. I want him filmed at 21. I want him filmed at 25, 32, 40, and then 50.
Yeah.
And then do it.
Yeah. Weapons 2. The Weapons Squared. 40
Weapons too, but fucking wait. Do not get different actors to play them at different times. They're not going to match up and line up perfectly. We need Chris Evans to play skinny Captain America, and we need him to play bulked up Captain America. We need this kid, which if you haven't IMDb'd yet, Hosferatu, you might want to while I'm in the middle of this fucking rant.
Cary Christopher.
What's his name?
Cary Christopher.
Cary Christopher, you have a future in Hollywood, sir.
He has a past in Hollywood. He's been doing it since 2019. 6 years as a child actor.
Not as bad as the Wayne Bodie spit take, but a very quick line that almost got me just now, Haas.
I did like the spit takes.
Thank you.
So she says, "I know that there's a way you can help me. When you go to school, bring me one object of each of your classmates." And immediately, the audience goes, "That's why all 17 of them disappeared at the same time." And
Immediately, if you're following and paying attention the way you're supposed to, if you're enjoying it like me and getting pissed off and that's clouding your judgment, you have to wait a little while longer.
yep.
And he just goes to the mailboxes,
And he tears all
says,
the names off.
and Justine, like, so it's a stroke of genius for him. Aha, I got this. I could do it. And it's easier than I thought. I don't have to get the eraser from this one and the book bag from this one.
Yeah.
I can just bing, 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 bing.
Yep.
And Justine doesn't even notice when she catches him doing it that the names are missing from
Right.
all their cubbies or whatever the
Right.
fuck.
Well, I mean, it's such a small, you see it every day subconscious detail that I don't think you would notice unless you really looked.
Oh, it's believable.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
totally believable.
And I think her
But she's
focus,
focused on him, on what
her
the fuck his
yes, her
problem
focus is
is.
on Alex, and because she oversteps her boundaries, she she's hyper focused on Alex. She wants to know what the problem is so she can fix the problem.
And she does it again here.
Yeah.
Bitch, you don't learn.
Yeah.
You know, Alex, I want you to know if there's anything going on in your life, you
You
can
can
tell
talk.
me.
Yeah.
And it's such a good intention that we can't fault her for it.
But it's
Excellent
out of
writing
it's
here.
out of
Excellent,
bounds. It's out of bounds.
excellent writing.
Justine Gandy. Okay, so it is 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:10 in the morning. Alex wakes up and comes downstairs to find Aunt Gladys over a bowl, and she's tearing the name tags up, putting them in the water. He goes, "What are you doing?" She doesn't even answer him. She hocks a loogie in there.
And you know 217 is the time. So when you see
Yeah,
210, 211, 212,
yeah.
here's where attention is getting cranked up.
Yep. So the clock strikes to 11 as she drops a flame in there, and the bowl flames up. And then she opens the front door and stands next to it, and Alex just goes out and stands there with her to watch because she's not telling him to go to bed.
Yeah.
And then he gets scared. He sees his classmates come around the corner, and you see actual fear on his face for the first time. He was definitely like, you've seen sad, you've seen angry when he was dealing with his parents earlier, and his parents being like zombified, but you've mostly seen like a robotic kind of, this is what I must do for the time being to save my parents.
That's it.
And this is the first time he really shows some fear when he sees his classmates running up that hill, and they run by him into the house. Doof, doof, doof. And now,
Is he seeing the moral price that he has to pay for? He sees what he had a hand in.
yeah,
Obviously, a reluctant hand, a forced hand,
right. But he did
is
that.
part of him feeling responsible or guilty at this point,
He,
or is it
I,
just pure fear? Like holy fuck!
yeah.
Not so much I do, but holy fuck, what is this?
What is this? Yeah, and also like maybe guilt, yes, but also I have to bury that because this is what I have to do to get my parents back.
I'm gonna say 6% guilt, 94% holy shit.
Holy shit, yeah. So now we go back into like soup montage world where he's feeding he's feeding the classmates and the parents soup, and he's buying bigger bags of soup.
This poor kid. Fuck
he's
me,
like
man.
carrying these heavy bags of soup up the hill now. And
Son of a bitch.
yeah,
This is what I'm saying. Like worse than James and worse than Justine. The shit that this kid goes through, just
yeah.
and feeding them.
And instead of just hitting random students, which they did hit a couple random students, they do specifically take a moment to show him feeding Matthew, and that he doesn't abuse Matthew in Matthew's state. He treats him the same as he treats these other kids and his parents.
Great catch. I did not notice that. So maybe definitely write that into the sequel where he still has like some humanity, or at least
Yeah,
moments of
absolutely.
humanity in the sequel.
Um, this is when she comes home and says, "We have to make the place ready. They're coming, right?" So you see her do the spell again, and all the kids are running out the back door. You see her putting makeup on the father, and then you see them being interviewed where she says, "Oh, he suffered a stroke. I'm here to take care of Alex," and he's just sitting there not talking.
Yeah.
Gladys does all the talking. Then the cops
Yeah.
come into the home and they look over the home, and then
And they're very polite to her. Are they just using
yeah,
police tactics like good cop, just to like get on her side and have her trip up?
yeah.
But
I
they're very
mean,
polite
they
to her.
think she's a odd old lady, but her
Okay,
persona
so it's real.
her
Okay.
persona is kooky old lady. Like
Hmm.
she's someone.
She's harmless.
I would avoid in a supermarket, but like she's
Avoid
harmless.
talking to her in a
Yeah,
supermarket.
yeah, yeah. But as far as my brain is concerned, it's not setting off any alarm bells, right?
Okay.
She's just a weird lady.
Okay.
Um, I don't know how we transition. I can't remember how we transitioned from this to back to Justine and Archer, but it does happen pretty much right after this.
Okay.
Um, so we have Justine and Archer. They cross paths. It goes to the hospital. Oh, we already went to the hospital, right?
Who's in
Um,
the hospital?
okay, this is something we forgot from Marcus's chapter before the smash cut. After the gas station scene, Justine and Archer are in the hospital, and then they come out of the hospital and they start talking. Justine reveals her investigation. Archer reveals his, shows
Right.
her the map. She goes, "That's Alex's house." They pull
Yes.
up to Alex's house in
That's
his
it.
truck. Now we're back to the current where we've walked everybody through in Alex's chapter. Alex opens the curtains to look out, and he sees the truck. So we know now that the end of Marcus's chapter, where Justine and Archer have come to Alex's house, and the end of Alex's chapter have met at this in this moment where Alex opens the blinds and sees the truck. So now we go back into the truck. They're talking. How are we going to do this? Do we call the police? Do we go in there? Do we just knock the door? Do we run in? And the door opens. Paul comes out and goes like this, begging them to come, baiting them to come in.
Okay.
And
So devil's advocate here, what I will say in opposition to what I said before is, because we talk about trusting the audience so much, Zach trusts the audience to know chapters are done, and now we're going to segue into a more traditional storytelling mode. Now, what happens is what happens. The camera work in the upcoming
oh,
scene,
this is the this is the best like 15
so
minutes.
fucking
Yeah,
good.
this is why Weapons is number one for me this year. This is the best 15 minutes of cinema of
Yeah,
2025,
absolutely.
and why Weapons is number one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
So that the only comparison I have, which is a really shitty comparison, is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. There's like three special effect shots when he shot an arrow, and one of them was like from the perspective of the arrowhead, and like with the target flying toward it. Something very, very similar is about to come up, and just I know you're going to speak about it more intelligently than I am right now. Every single vantage point of the weapons, the actual weapons, is being shown. It's being told so well. So we get it a little bit here with Marcus. We get it a little bit here with Paul, the weaponization process and how they move and the triangles, the whole thing. But when it's super, super tight and so close up from the different, slightly different ways with this 15 minutes of action, I love watching Gladys run. I fucking love it.
yes,
So
so
satisfying.
satisfying. So they're like they look at each other, and she's like, "That's Paul," and they get out of the truck and they go inside, and
That's the guy I just fucked.
yeah, and we have a showdown of sorts. We have Paul fighting, zombie Paul fighting, and I say zombie because he's mind controlled.
Right. So it's Paul and James are weaponized against Justine and
And
Archer,
Archer,
right?
right? So Paul and Justine will fight in the kitchen, and James and Archer will fight in the dining room slash living room, and
Yeah. And it's
it'll cut back and forth. We got some choking fights. You know, she throws a pan at him. It hits his chest. It doesn't even phase him. He walks right through it.
it would have
Um,
phased somebody who was not weaponized. It does not phase him. That is the dominance of the spell. And it's obviously belaboring the point a little bit, but at this point, it's fair to say that Justine and Archer are very much on the same team. And I mention it because there's something that's about to happen.
Yes. So the Archer James fight, there's some good comedy. He punches him a ton of times in the face. James keeps getting knocked out, but it takes only a few seconds for him to come to and keep going back at him. Um, and you know
So
he
wait, it's Archer and James that are fighting. So
yeah
it's Justine and Paul that are fighting.
yep. Justine and Paul are fighting in the kitchen.
because I remember, I'm not going to remember the action layout the way you're about to, but I remember thinking, how is this realistically going to happen? And then very delightfully, to my very pleasant surprise, oh, okay, this is how she's just not being slaughtered right now.
Yes.
Like I thought they did that very, very well.
Yep.
I don't remember the action, but I remember how it made me feel, which was
Right. So
okay.
so
This worked out very well.
So Paul overpowers Justine pretty quickly, so we cut away and we get to see a lot more of the Archer James fight where he like throws him across a table and he gets up and he jumps back across the table. He throws him over the couch. He gets up, he comes over the couch, and Archer is just completely exasperated. Like, how?
Just keeps tossing
Stop!
him
Yeah,
over the
just keeps
yeah.
tossing him. Yeah.
It's
Then
almost like a WWE choreography
yeah.
where one of them forgot to do something different. And no, so they keep doing the same thing. I'm going to throw you over the ropes.
Yep.
And instead of saying, okay, then you're going to put me in a clothesline, I'm going to throw you over the ropes. And then do something different. No, I'm going to throw you over the rope. I thought that was great. I thought that was really fun.
So James and Archer are going to bust through the basement door, and we're going to come back to the kitchen where Justine has pulled Paul's gun and shoots him in the throat, and the blood is just skewing, but Paul's still choking her, and she might die before he does. So he shoots her. She shoots him again in the face, and
Yeah.
that's when his body goes down. And then we go back to Paul and Archer at the top of the stairs in the basement, where Archer is now going to lose to James being choked out, and until James's head explodes because Justine got over there and shot him as well.
Yeah. So their minds are gone, but they have the limitations of their physicality.
Yes,
So, how do you kill a zombie? You shoot it in the head.
you should have had. So what I like here is they split up again to keep the action fluid because
But they're going to rely on a more traditional storytelling format. It's not going to be
yeah.
so rigidly told.
So what happened here too is there was a salt line that I believe Justine crossed, and that's
We
when
love our salt lines.
yeah, and that's when Paul and James attacked. Gladys told Alex not to cross the salt line. Also, before this scene, Gladys told Alex, "Pack your things. We're leaving tomorrow." This
Which
is this is
we got to give them a moment here to put a spotlight on that. This kid's torment is not going to end.
no.
Fuck. That's his world. That's his window
She
closing real fast.
He's her indentured servant for life.
Yeah, oh,
Like that's
perfect.
that's what she's made him, and
Yeah.
this is her coming home from killing, from Marcus killing his husband and sending Marcus after Justine. She comes home from that quickly, walks up the stairs, pack your bags, we're leaving tomorrow.
So between
That's
now and the
how we
Oregon
get to see the
Trail,
backside of the chapter.
yeah. So between now and her time on the Oregon Trail, and quite possibly further, like you alluded to, she has been through something like this. Maybe not this severe, maybe not this desperate. Maybe the few strands of hair in her head, maybe it wasn't so bad last time. She has gone through something similar and survived. She knows what she has to do here, which is to definitely put. Is it her nephew or her grandnephew?
I don't think she's Aunt Gladys at all.
I don't think. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Which is again, that would have been really cool if we got that exposition. Maybe we'll get it later. Maybe we won't. Who gives a fuck? We don't need it.
Yeah.
But she needs to put this kid into slavery, which really, really sucks.
So he knows his time is limited, but she says don't cross the salt line. Now, while this is happening downstairs, upstairs, he's walking towards her door, the door he found her in before, and his mom and dad are guarding the door, standing there. As soon as his foot touches the other side of that salt line, they, in the rage zombie virus mode, just start chasing him and chase him down and around.
So did the salt line serve as like as a tripwire, or something that
Yep.
activates them?
Yeah, but it's basically an alarm. You get too close, they're coming for you. Another spell, more magic, right?
Okay, so another spell. When this happens, you react this way.
Yep. So we get a little bit deeper into the magic. So he gets chased up and around. They come around because it's easy to lead them, right? They're kind of mindless. They have their one track, right? So
I was going to ask you a question, and I just answered it. Hold on, I'm writing this shit down. Hold on.
All right, I'm waiting.
No, you go on, and
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
write this shit down. It'll make sense in my head.
Okay. So, so he leads them back around, and he comes back in to where her supplies are, and he starts to make a stick. And he's in the bathroom, and the parents are trying to break down the door. So Justine starts to go up the stairs, and Archer goes into the basement. Archer finds the kids. He finds Matthew. He hugs Matthew. He's crying. Upstairs, he finishes the spell. He wraps a hair around the stick. He breaks the stick. She feels
Who's
it.
paying attention?
She feels the magic. She goes, "Uh-oh."
Yep.
And then you hear the rumbling.
Satisfying.
You hear the rumbling from the basement, and she just runs out of the house. And all the kids are chasing Gladys. And oh my God. Gladys runs into another house and out the other side. All the kids barrel through the windows, the doors, breaking everything in sight.
Barrel through.
Like
Barrel
a
through.
mass out the front windows. She runs
Like
down.
a stamp fucking peed.
Another back door, another back porch. The kids run through the screen. They run out the front windows again. They get to someone's random's front yard, and a girl jumps on her back and takes her down, and all the kids get on top and start gnawing and clawing and biting and chewing, and the callback of the movie, they eat her alive.
It's so good.
Like, movies do this callback thing all the time where it's a line of dialogue. I usually hate it when it happens. Sometimes it's not so bad. Like Avengers, right? I got red in my ledger, you got red in your ledger, we all have red in our ledger. It happens like 17,000 times throughout the series.
On Your Left is a
Yeah,
great callback.
yeah. On Your Left. Then you've got
by the
yeah.
Wasp is a great callback.
To-
I find in comedy and horror, callbacks are absolutely necessary,
Yeah.
and I feel one is one side of the coin, and the other is the other side of the coin.
Yep.
Which is why we get comedy sometimes in horror movies.
Together,
Two cousins almost, yeah.
together called back the BRB dying, right? So this movie calls back without having to say the line, which is another just like genius to the writing, where it's like, what a way to call back. I can even make them eat each other if I want to.
Yeah, you don't have to say it. Now you show it.
And you show it, and Alex never has to say, I made them fucking eat you, bitch. You fuck with my family? Like, that's what he wanted to say. And that's what you get.
That's what he will hopefully say in the sequel.
Yeah. No, because it had to come from his mind somehow. Like the spell is just the control and the activation. There has to be something mental going on to give them the order to what they're supposed to be doing. And yeah, my mind was saying, make these kids eat this lady.
I'm going to say it anyway, but I think you just answered the second question, but I'm going to save my questions for the wrap up.
All right. Cut back to the house. Archer has chased the kids. He's walking through the rubble. There's a funny little line. There's a man in the kitchen as he's walking through the rubble to find the kids, to find his son. Justine finally gets upstairs. She finds Alex hugging his parents, and
So hold on. I think we just glanced over it.
Okay.
Even though I need to use facilities sooner or later, so this cannot go another fucking hour.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I imagine I'm not alone. Feel free to pause the video, guys, and go take a leak. I'll just suffer here for you for your entertainment. Archer gets weaponized at some point. Did we glance over that, or did it not happen yet?
Oh yeah, we did glance over it. He does get weaponized before the kids leave. He gets weaponized. Yeah. He's choking her, and that's when they split up. Is when she dies. That's when Archer snaps out of it, and that's when the parents snap out of it.
Right. So, what possession of his did Gladys get a hold of? Do we see that? It had to. It could not have been such a major twist of this team. This, you would imagine, very, very reluctant team. But again, we're talking about the tactics, and ultimately, I want to say the humanity of Archer to see past his rage to like, okay, my rage against you is not what's important. Me getting my kid back, that's what's important. to the point where I'm going to see that you're no longer the main suspect. You are, in fact, what Marcus said. You are a victim. I'm going to team up with you, and to the point where now this twist, it's like it's not a return to, this teacher's the asshole. It's him being weaponized. It's a different version of him being diametrically opposed to her. So, it's almost like these two people, initially on completely opposite sides of the spectrum, coming together, now on completely opposite sides of the spectrum, but in a completely different way, where I'm going to try to kill you because I've been weaponized. It's great, great storytelling. But do we know or do we see how Gladys gets control of him?
No, we don't. And I would hope that it's in a scene that got cut for time because the movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes.
And you are going to watch the director's cut when it becomes available.
Oh, you know it, because you know I'm looking for that scene.
I do.
Yeah, because I don't see how. I
Is there
don't.
something we missed? Guys, leave it in the comments. Did we
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
something in the
Comments.
theater?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's hypothesize. How did she control Archer in that final scene?
Because I feel like it was explained. I don't think it just happened willy nilly because I was almost, the benefit of not enjoying this movie the way that you did. I was hyper focused on shit I didn't like. And I feel that if it wasn't explained, I would have been bitching the entire way home. And why the fuck did Archer all of a sudden? And I didn't do that. So I feel like it was explained. Guys, what are we missing?
Yeah, what did we miss? I usually don't miss stuff like this, and
No, you
I
don't.
remember questioning it the first time I saw the movie. I didn't question it the second time, which is why it wasn't fresh on my mind. Thank you, Steven, for bringing it up.
Very welcome.
So yes, Archer's restraining Justine. When Gladys is killed by the children, Archer snaps out of it. The parents snap out of it. Archer walks through all the rubble, finds Matthew. Justine goes upstairs to find Alex hugging his parents. And the creepy ghost like narrator returns to wrap up the. Um, uh, Alex's parents are still being fed soup,
Yeah,
but not by him. They're in a mental institution somewhere, and Alex has
yeah.
gone to live with a different aunt. I heard this one's really nice. Um, and I believe she says a year later, but I think she says a year later,
It's a year later.
some of the children have started
That's
to
it.
speak again.
And Archer is carrying Matthew away. So, regardless of how you feel about Matthew or even Archer in this film, I'm pretty sure that's when she says, it's a year later, even some, not all.
Right.
It's not a magical ending.
Yeah.
And the young people are the ones that are able to survive the process. Alex's parents, not so much. We get
Yeah.
that, we get that feeling.
Right,
Um,
right, because they were under
very,
the
very,
they were under the spell for longer, and I feel like the deterioration of whether it's the brain or if it's just like the soul, if you want to talk about life essence
I
being.
want to say it's the resiliency of the youth
Oh
is the
yeah.
impression that I got
Oh,
that they're able
what
to break
saved
out
them
of it
as well. That's
faster.
true.
So yeah, very almost like a Stephen King like ending where it's just not it's not a perfect ending. It's not a happy ending. It's a realistic, sad ending to a great movie.
To a great movie. Um, and yeah, let's do our wrap up because we are coming up on 3 hours. The first episode of the podcast.
Well, it is your
So
number one pick,
it is my number one pick, so we had to talk a
so
lot.
we should give it
We
3 hours.
we had to talk a lot about it. Um, Weapons. If you haven't seen Barbarian, go see Barbarian. If you don't know who Zach Kreger is, check Zach Kreger out. He's from The Whitest Kids You Know, a sketch comedy from the aughts, and has come into his own as a horror genius. Only 2 films under his belt, and I am going to follow this guy's career with a microscope. He is he is doing everything right, in my opinion. And once again, I gave Weapons a 10 out of 10.
Zach, I really appreciate everything that you did and give me something I always wanted. I must be like son of a bitch. Even when I give them what they want, they're still not happy. Um, but absolute kudos to everything that you did here. A brilliant piece of storytelling. I'm Stephen Anthony with Darklo Studios. I give Weapons a 5.
And for the podcast for the deceased, I'm Hasparatu. Check me out, BasementMedia.Online, and we'll see you next time.
And before we go, before Nate even thinks of hitting that stop fucking button, bullshit. I have two hypothetical questions here, which I wrote down.
Oh, yes, all right. I love these
Okay,
hypotheticals. All right.
hold on. Let me put on my goggles. Hold on. The nice reading glasses are in the car. Enjoy this happy horse shit. So what happens when you get older, kids? It fucking sucks, which is why I won't break out of a spell so quickly. You want the first question first, or do you want the first question second?
First. First questions first.
The first question first, or the first question was going to be, how is the sequel going to be told? Is it going to be told in chapters format, or is it going to be in a more traditional story? As if we get what I want and we get the Zemeckis timeline of Alex growing up and becoming a witch as powerful as Gladys, is it told Castaway style? Is it told traditionally, or do we
Chapters.
stick to the format because it is a sequel to Weapons and it's told in chapters?
Chapters. Stick to the format. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you're gonna want to draw parallels to the first film. If the only returning character is Alex, um, you're gonna have the history of weapons behind you, that you could build off of. Absolutely do chapters, even if it's ages. You could
So
so the chapters could be 15, 24, just like you said. You made the chapters when you pitched the idea.
So you just made an awesome segue into the second question, which is if you're going to do Top Gun Maverick, you follow Top Gun. If so you follow the format of the original. So I thought when I was thinking of this, and I had that aha moment, the sequel chapters, since Alex is learning all the spells, but you talked about how his mind with the eating, so that was there. But presuming that there's more spells that he hasn't learned, or maybe even stuff that Gladys didn't learn, that he goes into uncharted territory. I thought the chapter headings for the sequel could be the spells. It could also be the ages that he
Yeah.
learns them.
Yeah,
But
it could be the ages. So what we have here is, like, let's take Gladys and build a hypothetical. Like, let's say she's hundreds of years old, and she learned this ability. She gained this ability in her twilight years, right? Because she doesn't look younger, from draining this life energy or whatever she's
right.
doing. She just sustains her life.
But it's
So
kind of been, yeah. So it's kind of like unspoken that that's definitely her motivation. She was
right.
disappointed when the parents weren't helping
Weren't
her.
helping her, and she went to kids because if I'm not, the energy of these two adults isn't gonna help me, the energy of 17 kids fucking better, right?
Yeah,
So
almost like who was the villain in Doctor Sleep? Rose the Hat.
yeah, Rose the Hat. Oh, I
It
loved
was,
it.
she got the steam. I think
Yep.
it was. They didn't call Mystic, called the steam.
Yeah. Yep. The steam.
They got it from psychics. She
Yep.
was able to just get it from people, but
Right.
similar,
Yep.
not the same, but similar.
It's actually the Shining, is what she's eating. The Shine, because it's like everybody has it, but it's only like activated in some people.
Okay.
So, and that's why people who like use the Shining are like really good meals. They're really plentiful.
Okay, I read the book and I loved the book. Even I like Stephen King's earlier stuff. I'm not later stuff I don't enjoy so much, but Doctor Sleep I thought he nailed. I could not get through more than halfway of the movie. I was like,
Mm.
and I thought Rose the Hat. I thought the actress was phenomenal.
Oh,
I
she's
thought
great.
Ewan McGregor was great.
Yeah,
But the AA scenes, I'm like, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was way better done here with the phone calls with Paul and Donna than it was.
I did love the how Danny grew up. Like, obviously he would grow up like that. He's a fucked up kid. Alex is gonna have a similar life. He's gonna be
Alex
have a
is going to have a similar life. It's going to be similarly affected, but different world, different trauma,
yeah,
different manifestation.
yeah,
Which I know what you did last summer did not accomplish as well as Doctor Sleep did,
right.
or as well as Weapons Two will, which is unfortunate. It is what it is.
So I would say that also that, to touch on the sequel, which I like the, hypothetical questions here at the end. The question is, does Alex use his power for good or evil? Is he the protagonist or
Evil.
is he the
He's
antagonist?
the antagonist.
He's the villain in Weapons 2. He's not the
He
hero.
is.
He,
If he's the hero, it's you know what happens if he becomes the hero? It's Megan 2.0.
mm,
It's
it's Terminator 2. You can't
it's
you,
it's
you can't kill people. All right, they'll live.
you know what? And again, I would not have. Terminator 2, I think, is fantastic. It would have been better if the Terminator killed people before John gave him the
Got him,
directive
give him
not
the
to.
order. Yeah, yeah.
That would have amped that movie up to a fucking 11.
All right.
Here, you want Megan to be the hero in the sequel because you love her and she's your baby, and you are putting your imprint on the story. It's not your story. Just because you're the writer and just because you're the vessel through which it's being told and made and created, and you get a director to do it, or you human up and you get it made and you learn new shit and you figure everything out. No, you do it the way Zach did, and you stay true to the story. When Zach stays true to the story and he comes on the podcast for the recently deceased and gets us, you can hire Nate as a writer and hire me as a fucking PA. And you know I won't be a yes man, and you know I won't be a sycophant. And Hasfaratu, he's not going to be a sycophant either. He's going to tell you what you need to hear. Alex is the antagonist in Weapons 2.0 when it comes out in 30 years from now.
All right.
Years from now.
There you have it. Stay tuned 30 years from now for the podcast for the Recently Deceased review of Weapons 2.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nate Roberts.
I'm Stephen Anthony.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.